Magpies, Premier League teams have got a load of crazy nicknames. Ever wondered where they came from? Let's start with Everton. They're dubbed the Toffees, but why? Well, because when the club was formed, just down the road there were two local toffee shops. Ye Ancient Everton Toffee House and Mother Noblet's Toffee Shop were big fan favourites. Next, they say if you can't beat 'em, join 'em, and that's exactly what Ipswich Town did when it came to their nickname. The term Tractor Boys used to be chanted by their opponents as a way of putting the team down for their farming background. But during one game back in the late 90s, Ipswich were 1-0 up and they decided to flip the script. 1-0 to the Tractor Boys, they sang, and a new nickname was born. Let's head to Leicester, famous for more than just a red, well, orangey cheese and Jamie Vardy. Leicestershire is also the birthplace of fox hunting, hence the Foxes. Next up, turns out apples are not the only fruit that don't fall far from the tree. Bournemouth's nickname, the Cherries, comes from the fact the club's stadium was originally built right next to a bunch of cherry orchards. This next story actually involves two club nicknames. It started with Crystal Palace. They were having an absolute nightmare run back in the early 70s. They'd been relegated after a terrible spell and manager Malcolm Allison decided enough was enough. He wanted a new nickname, something strong, fast and destined for success. Something exactly like an eagle. But there's more to this one. Brighton were in search of a nickname too, and Palace finally gave them what they needed. In a heated match between the two back in 1976, Palace fans began chanting, "Eagles, Eagles." And some clever Brighton fans came up with the perfect reply, "Seagulls, Seagulls." Not all club nicknames have a crazy story though. Take the Gunners. That just comes from the fact a group of munitions workers in the Royal Arsenal factory in Woolwich set up the club in 1886. On the flip side, some nicknames seem simple, but there's a bit more to them. Like West Ham. The Hammers is actually nothing to do with the ham part of the name. It comes from the fact the club used to be called Thames Ironworks FC and was made up of workmen and shipbuilders. So next time the away end's chanting their crazy nickname, you'll now know exactly where it came from.
Day in the capital. It's the big one, isn't it? The biggest one in club football. It's the Champions League final day and the build-up starts right now on talkSPORT. Ade Oladipo alongside former Arsenal winger Perry Groves. We're live from the Redwood Pub and Kitchen. It's in the heart of London Bridge and we're going to be joined by a host of special guests. We're going to hear from the managers, the players, and we're going to hear from the fans as well. And Adrian Durham will join us live from Budapest to give us a taste of the atmosphere. After picking up the Premier League trophy, can Arsenal make it the dream season and collect the one trophy that has evaded the club? Or can the great PSG side with their superstar lineup and manager go back to back? Champions of France versus champions of England to decide who will be champions of Europe. Elsewhere, big news coming out of Liverpool. Liverpool, who finished 5th in the Premier League last season, have decided to part ways with manager Arne Slot with immediate effect. Andoni Iraola, who guided Bournemouth to 6th in the league, is the favourite to take over. More on that throughout the show. A World Cup build-up, by the way, has begun. Scotland are taking on Curaçao in their warm-up game. We have a reporter there, Paul Mitchell, will keep us updated with that game. A busy show, just got a lot busier, I think it's fair to say. This is the Champions League final preview show from the Redwood Pub in London Bridge, and we're live on talkSPORT. Perry Groves, you thought we were going to do Arsenal for 2.5 hours. You were wrong, sir. We are going to talk about Liverpool as well. But this is lovely, isn't it? This is nice. The weather's
nice little buzzy atmosphere at the Redwood. Yeah.
Too many Arsenal shirts for my liking.
Not enough. Get more in, more gooners.
I didn't know you had this many Arsenal shirts. I'm seeing so many different shirts. That's more like it. There's a guy just to the left, to the right of me, JVC. That should be the only
Proper
one
old
allowed
school.
in. It's only one allowed in.
80s, that's what we love.
Proper,
Ade.
proper
80s.
indeed. How excited are you? Before we talk Liverpool, how excited are you? Or nerves? Which one is it?
Not as excited
or
as
nerves?
you when you heard your little face. Trust me, when I said that Arne Slot's gone, you'd thought you'd won a postcard
No, I
lottery.
love him. What are you
Your
talking
little,
about?
Your
I'm a
little face,
massive
your
fan of
little eyes
Slot.
all lit up, whatever.
Yeah. I thought you were lying to me because I was convinced that.
You thought I was just prodding you, did you?
Yeah, because I was convinced that Arne Slot was staying. I think Arne Slot was convinced he was staying, right? I mean, the last few times he's done his press conferences, he's almost like, yeah, well, you know, next season we're going to do this, next season we're going to do that, and the Liverpool hierarchy have decided that's not happening.
I think there's obviously a lot of talking that's gone behind the scenes. And Ade Oladipo, everybody knows.
Yeah.
They say he's the favourite. We had Max and Charlie saying he's a short list of one.
Yeah.
So I think that the sporting director Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards and people in charge of the sporting side and the football side, they've looked at it and they thought, we can't afford to lose Ade Oladipo because he suits exactly the way that Liverpool want to play. He suits the front foot, the high press. We see our Bournemouth play as well, athletic, go and take the game to the opposition. So, and I think Iriola's people might have said, if you want him, it's got to be now.
Yeah.
Because there's big, obviously, by Leverkusen, it was reported that we're in for him. So with Arne Slot, he'll go down as a good Liverpool manager.
Yeah, I agree, and we'll talk about where as well, because there have been some good Liverpool managers that have not won the Premier League. He's done so. You mentioned Andoni Iraola. talkSPORT understands that he is the standout candidate to replace Arne Slot, and talks are expected to move very quickly. talkSPORT also understands Iraola has already told Liverpool he wants to join them. We also understand that out of respect to Slot, Liverpool are finalising terms, but the direction of travel is set to be a quick agreement.
Well, basically, we'll pay you off for your. They left 1 year in his contract. Arne Slot, well, we'll pay you off. Bournemouth don't get anything because obviously Iriola's contract was like 2 years. All the top up-and-coming managers now, they have 2-year contracts. You see Glasner, same thing at Crystal Palace. So I feel a bit sorry for Bournemouth in that way because, as we said, I don't get compensation. But Iriola's people say, by the way, that compensation that you was going to give maybe to Bournemouth, he can have it now. So he's going to have fantastic terms. The thing with Iraola, and I love the way that he plays and the way he improves like individual players, he has now gone from swimming in an aquarium in London Zoo to a goldfish bowl live on 24/7 TV. That is the difference, is handling the big egos that you have at the bigger clubs. That's
And the expectations of the fans as well. Look, the fan base is a loud fan base. And look, let's make no bones about it, this fan base is part of the reason Arne Slot's not there. I think the owners, whether it be Richard Hughes, Michael Edwards, FSG, like the real big, they listen to the fans, they hear the fans. And there's been a lot of moaning about Arne Slot now for a long time. I think this moaning and groaning started, I mean, you can trace it back to back end of last season when Liverpool started playing bad. But obviously we won the league, so you kind of discount it. But I think Liverpool have been bad for a long time under Arne Slot. And I say this as a Liverpool fan. I mean, you can't lose 19 games in a season, 19, which is a third of the games Liverpool played, and expect to keep your job. You just can't.
Well, especially 12 in the Premier League as well.
It's
but the thing is, Ade, if you go back, you said they went on easy streak because the league has won, right?
Yeah,
so you can understand
fair.
that, where players are like partying and, you know, flip-flops and shorts and whatever, Crocs. But beginning of the season, you were top of the league at the end of September. You won your first five Premier League games.
Yeah.
So no one would have seen this cup, obviously beating Arsenal 1-0 with Szoboszlai's like worldy free kick. So everybody thought, all right, it's up. From Arne Slot's point of view, I think there's situation. I don't think he handled the Mo Salah situation very well, you know, in January, where Salah obviously had his post that came out and he thought he had a bit of time because he went tough at Cup of Nations. I wouldn't have, I would have gone, you're not playing, you're done. You don't do that. Big managers say, you don't do that to me. If you want to come and see me, you come and see me in private, we have a chat. You don't make it public. And Salah wasn't performing particularly well anyway, so he carried him for a little while. He's had if he'd had seasons in reverse, he'd still have his job.
100%.
If he comes fifth the first season and wins a Premier League second season,
he'll probably get a 5-year deal.
Yeah.
But the way in which it's worked, it doesn't play out like that. I just want to quickly read Liverpool's statement on this, that they've said that this was a difficult decision for us to make as the club, and it goes without saying that the contribution Arne has made to Liverpool FC in that time, he's been with us, has been significant, meaningful, and most importantly of all, to supporters and ourselves, successful. They go on to say, we have collectively come to the conclusion that change is necessary in order for the club to keep moving forward. we'd like to take this opportunity to place on record our appreciation for Arnie. Nevertheless, the conclusion we have come to is built on belief that the team's trajectory is best addressed through a change of direction.
And fans were getting a bit toxic and turning. So you know what happens with owners? They quite rightly listen to fans. They probably thought that they'd give him the beginning of next season and see how it pans out. But if he'd have lost the first 2 games or not won for the first 3, it would have gone proper toxic. And again, it's timings. It's not about obviously Iraola being free at the minute. I actually think Arne Slot.
Can I cut across you? Sorry, Perry. How quick do you think they've come to this decision? Like, do you think this is, like, us fans are the last to know, right? So much goes on behind the scenes. You know this as a former player. You're into these conversations sometimes. But how quick? Is this something that's just happened in the last week? Has this been planned for the last few months? Like, how quick has this happened?
I don't think it's the last few months. I think it was within, like, last 2 or 3 days.
Wow.
Honestly, I think they'd have had Iraola in their sights.
Yeah.
They'd have looked at it and thought, right, he's out of a job. Maybe Iraola thought, right, I'll just sort of hang around for a big job to come, hoping that maybe Liverpool might come at the beginning of the season. But then I think, obviously, with the Bayer Leverkusen interest coming in.
Milan as well.
Milan coming in. I think it's Iraola's people who have put it on their cards and said, by the way, if you want him, you've got to have him now. And I think that's made up their mind. With Arne Slot, from the outside, I always thought that in interviews, the way he come across, I thought he did brilliant his first season because he was a humble manager. He didn't come in and go, this is me, I'm going to change completely the way you play. He just tweaked it a little bit, didn't he? Just had a couple of holding midfield players, if it's Gravenberch or McAllister, just sort of sitting in there, Sabozza sometimes. So I think he had a lack of ego himself. And he's always, when you listen to him talk, he always tells you straight. You know, he said that performance hasn't been good enough. When you deal with the media, I think he does that really well, comes across nice and humble. But the problem he had was, with his humbleness, he didn't know how to handle, in his second season, the big egos. And we're talking about, obviously, Mo Salah in particular. And I think he'll look back and think he should have handled that a little bit differently. But the big thing as well, Liverpool fans, obviously watching him week, he didn't know his best team, and he didn't know his best formation. You're leaving yourself wide open to criticism. And if you spend 450 million quid on transfers, which he did at the beginning of the season, then you'd expected worst ways out to be challenging to win the Premier League. You know what I mean? If you haven't won it, but you're close, you're 2 or 3 points off, he keeps his job. Yeah. You can't be coming 5th spending 450 million quid.
All right, we could chat Liverpool. You know, I could chat Liverpool all show. I could. But out of respect for your mob, let's talk about Arsenal versus Paris Saint-Germain. It's a massive, massive game. Massive day for Arsenal Football Club, as it is for Paris Saint-Germain as well, looking to go back-to-back. Arsenal looking to win the big ear trophy that they've never won before. How do you feel approaching this one? Okay, let me ask it this way. How did you feel 20 years ago when it was Arsenal versus Barcelona compared to how you feel for this one?
You know, the thing is, 20 years ago, if you said Arsenal fans there, by the way, it'll be 20 years before you reach another Champions final, they'd have thought you was mad. Because my 2 boys, Lewis is 36, Drew's 34. So one born 1990, one 92, right? So they grew up, when they got to 6, 7, 8, of Arsenal winning Premier Leagues, doubles, Invincibles, 7 FA Cups.
Spoil.
And I would say to them, boys,
ain't gonna happen for a long time.
Soak this up, because this isn't normal. This doesn't really happen, right? So that generation of Arsenal fans probably feel a bit more pain than Arsenal fans of mine, because I realise that it's cyclical. Yeah. So 20 years on, when you're coming into this massive game, the brilliant thing for Arsenal fans, for the players, there's nerves, right? I don't believe anybody. We're doing live radio. You'll get nerves. You do your boxing, right? You get butterflies, right? But there's a difference between being anxiety nerves and excitement nerves. And what's happened now, after the Bournemouth-Man City game, everything, that desperation was like, that relief comes in.
But this is the trophy you've not won.
Yeah, but it's still...
Is it now not the feeling of anxiety nerves because it's the one that has evaded you?
Absolutely not. Because they've won the Premier League, the players, you're going into training, got a spring in your step, and the difference is, Ade, what happened is, right, it's going to be really tight. Like, I think the game's going to be really tight. If Arsenal had gone 1-0 down and hadn't won the Premier League, those nerves become tenfold. That anxiousness goes in, and you look at each other, you think, oh, God. It goes through your mind as a player. You know, when you think your players are focused totally on the game, they're humans. It goes through your mind. You think, we could end the season second again and not win anything. Go 1-0 down now, it'll be more, don't worry, it's all right, we've got this covered. You won't be as much panic will sink in. And it will do the players. They will now set excitement nerves where they're thinking, bring this on, let's go. We can't wait. There's a player, this is where you want to be. This is their whole careers, from when they were in academies, when they're getting released, Eberechi Eze getting released by Arsenal, going back into EFL, Declan Rice getting released by Chelsea, then obviously pathway through West Ham coming through. This is where they want to be. This is where the whole career has come.
And on that as well, we are going to have to quickly go to Paul Mitchell watching the Scotland game, but on that 20-year gap, these players might not ever get there again. So you've got to enjoy it, and you've got to make it look like this is the only opportunity we're going to get to win this trophy. And we are going to come back to Perry Groves. We're going to hear from some fans as well, the managers and the players. But as I mentioned at the top, Scotland are preparing for the World Cup. They're taking on Curacao. Paul Mitchell's watching the game. What's the latest, Paul?
It's Scotland 0, Curacao 0. No Scotland, no party was the banner at the start. Not been too much to have a party about so far. What could be very interesting is the way that Curacao have set up. It's a 5-4-1. So Scotland, who have gone with two up front, are going to have to work very hard to get through what is a very defensive setup by Dick Advocat and his side. They'll try flash forward occasionally, but really this is all about Scotland and how they go about things. One chance in the opening 10 minutes, Andy Robertson wide with a shot from the left hand side. But so far now, after 12 minutes, Scotland 0, Curacao 0.
Cheers, Paul. Thank you very much. We'll let you know when goals go in that game. I think there will be goals. All right, French football expert Julien Laurent joins Laura Woods and Ali McCoy in a very special episode of the talkSPORT Daily podcast, looking ahead to this evening's Champions League final. It's available now on all of your favourite podcast platforms. All right now we're at the Redwood Pub. I don't have a drink next to me, which is a shame, but we'll sort that out in the break. Ahead of the Champions League final, and up next we're going to be joined by our first lot of Arsenal-affiliated guests.
Edwin, away from Soccer Aid, obviously a good second half of the season for your former club, Manchester United. It feels like a no-brainer to give Michael Carrick the job on a full-time basis. I guess the big question is, what can he achieve next season? How close to being championship contenders do you see them being?
Yeah, but I think what Michael brought was stability, clarity. Got some players in, played a lot of times the same team, and formation that was recognizable for the fans. And I think the performance that he put on, the results that he got, and that the board and the directors take their time to look at our options, see how things develop, see how the players look like. Probably they got some contact with Bruno and some established players to make up their mind. And very happy for Michael that he got the opportunity to do it on a permanent basis.
What about Michael Carrick's big selections this summer? What has he got to do in order to make them more competitive next season in terms of winning the Premier League? Because that's the established aim for Manchester United.
Yeah, of course. I'm not that deep into Manchester United. And of course, some players will have a desire to leave or to extend the contract. Big thing is, of course, Casemiro leaving, so that will leave them a big gap in the midfield. The initial period was a bit iffy, but I think the last year, a year and a half, the appreciation for him and his career has been immense. So that will be a headache. Goal scoring wise up front, of course, with the addition of Mbeumo, Šeško and Cunha, get a little bit more grit, a little bit more stability, a little bit older play.
Good afternoon, welcome to the Champions League final preview. Arsenal versus PSG. Surely Arsenal can't do the double. I mean, come on. This would be incredible, it really would. Not incredible for other fans of London clubs, but certainly incredible for Arsenal fans. I'm hearing around 1 million are going to turn up to the parade tomorrow. I think it's going to be 2 million if they win the Champions League. We are in the Redwood pub here in London Bridge. It is a wonderful day in the capital, and 2 have become 4. Ade Oladipo, Perry Groves, Adrian Clark, Sophie Nicolau as well, all the way from California.
That's right.
All the way from California. You've brought the sunshine.
I have brought the sunshine.
Because you've been here, what, a couple of weeks, Sophie?
Been here a couple of weeks. I've been loving coming in and seeing you guys, and just one more to go, right, Clarky?
Absolutely, yeah. Cannot wait for this game. I'm so excited.
Look at the smiles. This is so hard for me to do.
One game from immortality.
Oh, here we go.
Bit of BG's coming in. Immortality. One game.
Sophie, you host the Highbury Squad podcast.
Yes.
In terms of, always said Arsenal are a massive club worldwide, and they are. There's no doubt about it. What is it like stateside when it comes to Arsenal in terms of the fan bases? If you were to rank sort of the Premier League clubs, where do Arsenal rank in terms of fan base in America?
Sure. I think the mistake people made was Arsenal are always a big club just doing small things in the Premier League, and then you have a club like Manchester City or a small club doing big things in the Premier League.
Loving your work. Loving your work.
The fandom in America is amazing. I think 22% of merchandise sales for Arsenal comes from the United States. Wow. And that's not because they have American owners, it's because they're passionate about the Gunners. And you'll see on the US tours, the club is massive there. You've got Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, of course. And I think of the English clubs, you know, Man United and Liverpool are big, but in America it feels like Arsenal's presence is huge. There's a group called Arsenal America. They have branches in pretty much every single state. They have events, and they're really connected with the club. They do tours that, you know, come here every single season, different times of the year. Clarkie's met a bunch of them. I know Perry's met a bunch of them, including our good friend Magic Mike, who also does a great job raising money for Gunners v Cancer. So the community is massive, and it's huge, Addy. It's a great following.
Very quickly, Perry, before I come to you, and Clarkie, there has been a goal. I said there'll be a goal in that game between Scotland and Curacao. Paul Mitchell watching it for talkSPORT. Which way has it gone, Paul?
Addy, you were spot on. There would be a goal, but how about this for a scoreline? Scotland 0, Curacao 1. Tahith Chong of Sheffield United getting his 3rd international goal on his 5th international cap. Played through on the right-hand side from halfway. He advanced up to the edge of the box. He turned John Souttar inside out, and he slotted past Craig Gordon. It's a bit quiet at Hampden. Scotland 0, Curacao 1.
Interesting.
Clark out.
Yeah.
Get him out before the World Cup starts.
Yeah, Haiti are not going to be shaking in their boots anymore. Clark, I've always been fascinated by Arsenal because I almost feel like the Arsenal fan base has grown considerably over the last 10 years. They've not won much, but they've been able to somehow still continually grow as a fan base. Normally, you kind of get fair weather fans that almost jump off the ship when you don't win. They seem to have jumped on the ship.
They're on the boat. As Mikel Arteta always is sort of talking about this analogy of being on the boat. Yeah. Look, I don't know what it is. I think Arsenal grew massively during Arsene Wenger's time with Thierry Henry and that wonderful team. Look, we're the biggest club in London. We're the best club in London, best supported club in London. We'll see that tomorrow when hopefully there'll be two shiny trophies hanging off the top of that double-decker bus. But yeah, look, I think Mikel Arteta has built something as well. I think it's important to point that out. Yeah, it was a little bit disconnected when he took over in 2019, but season by season, brick by brick, he's built the team, and he's built a very special connection with the supporters at home and overseas. I honestly, I've never felt like the club has been more of a family than it is right now under Mikel Arteta. And I think he deserves a lot of credit for it, because he's not just managing the team, he's not a head coach, his fingerprints are on everything. North London forever. You know, the tunnel being ripped away and opened up. I could list, you know, all these banners and tifos. His fingerprints are on all of this. I can't state that enough. So he deserves great credit for the fan base growing and certainly being more connected with the team.
You know what he's done? Culture.
Yeah.
Changed the culture.
Thing,
completely changed the culture. No big-time Charlies. I was lucky enough to be undercover on the trophy lift at Selhurst Park. And so you see the connection with the players and the fans there.
Yeah.
But I was lucky enough to see sort of behind the scenes, how the players conducted themselves with the fans that were on the pitch and asking for selfies and their families, whatever. And it made me, I'm proud of, you know I'm a proud Gooner anyway, but it made me more proud of the players, how I saw that they were and how they conducted themselves. Because they're not big, there's a bunch of humble players there. Obviously, our technical agreement is be superstars on the pitch and you have to perform at a certain level and the stands high, but off the pitch, you're no better than anybody else.
It's like Arsenal,
and that's exactly what he's done.
It's like Arsenal 2.0. You know, it's a new DNA, it's a new player profile. You have to reach certain criteria to even be able to sign for the club. And this may sound crazy. I feel more connected to this Premier League title than the Invincibles.
Wow.
And I know that might sound a little crazy, but I'm a London girl. I'm a Greek girl from Palmer's Green, otherwise known as Palmer's Greek. And I like the fact, like when Perry was playing, I like the fact we have London boys in our squad. I was saying this to Clarkey. We were on a panel together a couple of weeks ago. And I love that Eze and Declan and Noni and Saka, and then you've got the Hayland, and then you infuse that insane foreign talent, and you've got this wonderful mix, and I just love that there's a representation. I look at Arsenal and I see me. My friends look at Arsenal and they see themselves. Whether you're Greek, whether you're from Africa, whether you're from South America, there's this incredible connection right now, and Mikel has a lot to do with it, but a lot of people behind the scenes have a lot to do with it as well. But Clarkey said it a couple of weeks ago. It feels like this is his fingerprints.
Do you get this in this country? There is an anti-Arsenal bias in that we see it, Clarkey, didn't they? Different narratives sometimes, whether it's from opposition fans or in the media. Do you actually get the feeling in the States where you circle the wagons as well, where it's us against the world?
Yes, I think because everything transmits. I was talking to Gilberto Silva about this. You know, as a player, he can transmit to players signing. As fans, we can kind of transmit to each other. Whatever's going on in the world, it transmits. But, you know, we just have to stop Stevie Nicol on ESPN FC talking smack about us, and then everything's okay. But you get it because it transmits, Perry.
Yeah.
Not because the media there kind of drive it.
Yeah, but you don't have Gabby Ponlehor, so you're all right.
Yeah.
You escaped.
Is he in detention? Is he in detention?
He's hiding. He's in hiding. He's in hiding. Clarkey, I always feel like it's a very thin line, isn't it, between success and failure, right? There's only so many teams that can win so many trophies. And look, it's an easy question to ask now because you've won a trophy, but if he didn't get over the line in the Premier League, this project, and it is a project, it's been a good project as well. How many Arsenal fans do you think would have been behind him next season?
If Arsenal
didn't win the Premier League, yeah, if it was Man City or Liverpool nicked it, how many?
Look, it would have been very hard to go again, if truth be told, because it has to be now. We had to win the Premier League this season. The pressure was on back-to-back second place finishes. Was brilliant, but it wasn't enough. And I think to persuade the supporters and the players that it is well worth sticking around for this project, we had to win it this season. So it was absolutely colossal. And I think it was really nice to do it by 7 points, by the way, in the end. I know that it all changed around on the final day, but that, I think, is a nice reflection of this year's title
Dominance
race.
as well.
Yeah, exactly. And look, if he wins tonight, I mean,
Stop it. We haven't got there yet. I'm not asking for predictions yet.
Himself.
Is he the greatest manager?
He'll be up there with Arsenal.
He will have been in charge of the greatest season in Arsenal's history.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. And I think it'd be close to Arsene Wenger if he wins tonight.
I have to ask you very quickly, Clarkey, about Arne Slot. Arsenal kept faith with Arteta. Liverpool have decided not to keep faith with Arne Slot. Different circumstances, I think it's fair to say. Surprised or expected?
Completely expected.
Okay. He's still surprised.
Completely expected. And I'll tell you why. You can't be in charge of Liverpool and lose 20 games in a season. You just can't. You can't do that and survive. And also, and this is something, you know, I turned it back very quickly to Arsenal. You never really get any dissent from the Arsenal dressing room. What we were hearing throughout the season, particularly late on, was big players in that Liverpool dressing room disrespecting the manager really and going against him quite publicly. I think from that moment on, he was always going to leave this summer. And I have to say that if they do persuade Andoni Iraola to come in, and it's a great fit. Absolutely superb fit for Liverpool.
Clarkey, thank you very much. I know you're going to be hot-footing it to do some commentary. Appreciate you, Sophie. You're going to stick with us as well. Let's head over to Hungary now, shall we? Our live football host, Adrian Durham, will, of course, be presenting our Champions League final commentary today. But first, he's been catching up with some Arsenal fans in Budapest.
Well, here in Budapest, the Arsenal fans are arriving en masse for the Champions League final. They're finally going to win it. Having sealed the Premier League, can they make it a big double under Mikel Arteta? We've got a couple of Arsenal fans here. Father and son, what's your name, sir?
Jack. Martin.
Which one's father, which one's son? I'm only joking. So, how confident are you?
Quietly confident now, I think. I think we have got a chance. I think we can frustrate them. And, you know, we're not the type side who can get rolled over. We could nick a goal. And, yeah, 1-0 to the Arsenal.
1-0 to the Arsenal, back to George Graham. But no, I think we could actually do it today. I'm getting more and more confident, more and more around the Arsenal fans. The fan zone was unbelievable yesterday from what UEFA had put on. And it was all Arsenal. There was no PSG people around. I thought there was 2 clubs in this final. Let's hope today there's just 1 club and it's Arsenal.
I love that. I love the arrogance. There is only Arsenal there. PSG have no fans. Arsenal are going to dominate this, aren't they? In terms of fan base, it's going to be like 10-1.
Do you know what? It's turned into a stag and hen weekend. That's what it's turned into. Because Arsenal fans will be travelling there now, actually thinking we can enjoy this.
Yeah.
Because that desperation has completely gone.
Yeah, the baby birth, wrong show to say this, in 9 months is going to be incredible. All right, next we're going to continue to build up to the Champions League final, and we're going to speak to a former Liverpool striker after it was confirmed that Arne Slot has been sacked.
As I've been waiting to come on, I've just had a message from somebody called Gabriel Agbonlahor. I'm not quite sure who he is, but his message was replying to me writing a diary in the Spectator magazine this week, which is headline, "No one likes Arsenal, we don't care." And he's just said, "I pray for a PSG win." Think about that sentence. That is a talkSPORT presenter on his knees praying to God that Arsenal an English team, do not win the Champions League. That is how pathetic the Arsenal haters have got. It is pathetic.
I want to ask you about that, Pierre, and I'm deadly serious, right? I'm deadly serious, right? I remember West Ham getting that Conference League final. Just about the whole country was behind them. Certainly Palace last week. Everybody was behind them. Why? What is it with Arsenal?
I just cannot understand how any fan base that has me, Keir Starmer, Jeremy Corbyn, the president of Rwanda.
You've answered that.
And I haven't finished yet. And the late Osama bin Laden. Why that fan base would be so detested, I have no idea. No, you know what it is? It's we live in a country I like this about our country, but it's tall poppy syndrome, right? When we were losing and choking, everybody loved Arsenal, right? For the last 22 years, there's nothing other football fans have enjoyed more or loved more or celebrated more than our repeated choking and failures. And now we've actually climbed the summit. Now we've become Premier League champions again. And frankly, now everyone's beginning to wake up to what I've been telling you guys for several years now, that we have the best squad in world football and could well go on a 10...
Good afternoon. It is the Champions League final preview. Arsenal taking on Paris Saint-Germain. It's live from Budapest. Gets underway at 5 o'clock. The preview has started already. We're in the Redwood pub in London Bridge. It is Ade Oladipo alongside former Arsenal winger Perry Groves. Sophie Nicolau, host of the Highbury Squad podcast, is with us as well. The big news, the big breaking news about 2 hours ago was that Liverpool have decided to part ways with their manager Arne Slot. Andoni Iraola, the favourite to come in. Nothing confirmed as yet. Let's get the opinion of former Liverpool striker Neil Mellor, who's on holiday. Neil, I'm sorry to do this to you. We had to come to you, Neil. On holiday, he's had to put the suntan away and the beers down to join us. And Neil, I guess it's not surprising news, but I guess every time Liverpool sack a manager, because Liverpool are the one club that like to kind of keep faith with managers, it does come as a bit of a shock.
Yeah, I think it's surprising. Good afternoon, everybody. In terms of the day, obviously Champions League final, like you say, everybody's looking forward to that game later on. The season finished a week ago, so maybe we expected the news to have come out slightly earlier than it has done. What I would say is a big thank you to Arne Slot. He delivered the Premier League title in his first season, which was not easy at all. This season was very different. Liverpool didn't finish anywhere near what was expected of them for various reasons and factors, but ultimately far too behind Arsenal and Man City, never in the title race. So not surprised, because in terms of, I spoke to a lot of fans in the closing weeks of the season and the mood had changed. And when you lose the fans, you have to listen to the fans, and I felt as though the owners probably have done with this decision.
Big question, Neil. Is it a chalice or a pint glass that you've got poolside? It's got to be a chalice.
No, he's got the bottle.
Exactly.
The bottle.
Does it sound like I've had a couple already?
It looks like... it looks like, obviously, Andoni Iraola is going to be the one that comes in. We all know his style of play is going to suit the way Liverpool fans want to play. But what do you think the first thing that Iraola would need to do when he puts his foot through that door?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Perry, presuming that he's going to take the job, you know, let's make no mistake about it. Liverpool Football Club will attract interest from some of the best managers in world football. One's got a game tonight. You know, Enrique's been linked to the Liverpool job. You know, whether it's a bit too early for him, I don't know. You know, but he's certainly been a name mentioned. I look at a couple of names as well at the World Cup. I think of Tuchel. I think he's a top elite manager. Again, he'll be linked to the biggest jobs in the world, which is what Liverpool is. Nagelsmann as well. There's another one at the World Cup. So as much as Iraola is the favourite, there are some big names that would certainly be in the mix to take this job. Iraola did a great job at Bournemouth, no doubt about that. Think of 12 months ago, before the season started, this season. His defence was decimated. Think about the players that he lost. And everybody was thinking, well, Bournemouth will struggle. Then they lose Semenyo as well, the best player in January. And he has done a brilliant job. There's no doubt about that. In terms of when he comes into Liverpool, Liverpool fans haven't enjoyed this season with the style of play. I'd probably argue a lot of teams haven't enjoyed watching the Premier League this season for various reasons because of the style.
I think it's been brilliant, Mel, to be honest.
I think it's been brilliant as
well.
well.
It's been the best Premier League for the last 20 years.
Hey, listen,
lights out, hasn't it, Perry?
No doubt about that. You lot are deserved champions, not begrudging that at all, but the style of play hasn't been sort of the whole Klopp and Pep era. And I think Liverpool fans look back at that era and say, God, that was incredible. So for Iraola to come in, he's got to decide in terms of the personnel, what signings Liverpool are going to make. Liverpool are short. Liverpool have got to sign a couple of attacking players, maybe a bit more physicality in midfield, and a right-back position, which was a problem all season. And it didn't just affect the defence, it affected Salah as well, his numbers, because he had that relationship with Trent, who obviously left last summer.
We've seen a few players say goodbye, Neil. The exit door is wide open at Liverpool. Canate obviously looks like he's going to leave after running down his contract. Andy Robertson, Mo Salah. Did you feel like with this Andoni Iraola imminent announcement, do you think any of these players could be tempted to do a U-turn?
Well, Canate is the most recent one. I was surprised. I wanted Canate to stay. Obviously, his demands were a little bit higher than what perhaps the club were willing to do. I was surprised as well because Liverpool have the highest wage bill in the Premier League, and to finish fifth, that's clearly not acceptable. So that has to improve for next season. I think the new manager comes in, whoever it will be, will want his own players. Will want to see, right, who wants to be at Liverpool Football Club? Who wants to play for me and this football club? And then we can move forward that way. But I think there'll be some changes. Like you said, them players, I think there'll be more leaving as well. So I think there will be some changes this summer. again for Liverpool fans to look forward to. I think Liverpool need a lift. I think that's one big thing. You've watched Liverpool this season, and I feel as though the mood hasn't been great. The manager's now gone, so whoever it comes in, Iriola, who else, need a bit of a lift with a couple of decent signings to get improved.
Neil, appreciate it, my man. Thank you very much. One word of advice I can give you. Put your phone on airplane mode, Neil, because you're going to get disturbed quite a lot in the next 24 hours. Neil Miller, the former Liverpool striker, giving us his viewpoint. Yeah, giving us his viewpoint on the Arne Slot being sacked by Liverpool. Sophie Nicolau, as I said, is still with us, is going to be with us for hopefully a couple of sections. She's the host of the Highbury Squad podcast. How are you feeling, Sophie, in the look to this game, in the fact that you are playing arguably the best team in the world right now, maybe playing against the best manager in the world? They're going for back-to-back. How confident are you?
I think after winning the Premier League, we go in confident, not cocky, more hopeful, a bit more relaxed as fans. And I think you're seeing that's translated into the team. They seem a little bit more relaxed. Now they believe, we believe, because they've done it. So the approach would have been so different. This would be an entirely different conversation had we not closed the Premier League. So I think we go into it excited. You know, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. It's a time to make history. They can become, you know, the legacy here, the era, the Emirates era is fully activated now. Now we've won a title. That feels like home. And Highbury is, you know, for us, it will always be Generation X. You know, watching Perry play there, you know, when I was younger as well, and he was a young thing playing for Arsenal. So many memories, so many beautiful experiences we've had together as fans. We've been waiting to be able to do that now. Arsenal needed new heroes. We've exhausted our heroes. No disrespect. We love the players who have won in the past, but we really needed a new energy and a new legacy, and hopefully tonight we can really solidify that.
You know, like PSG have so many danger players, right? Whether it be Kvaratskhelia on the left, who I think is their best player, Dembele through the middle, Doué on the right-hand side. Who do you think PSG fans will be looking at in the Arsenal squad and thinking, okay, we need to stop him?
Saka.
You think so?
On that, obviously, right-hand side with Kvaratskhelia, he will make sure he doubles up, whether it's Timber or Mosquera plays. You have to go and close them down very, very quickly. But you can get at PSG. And the only thing that I want to see is when Dembele goes roaming, which he does, then he drops deep and he goes all over the place. Yeah, exactly right. I don't want to see Sleeve and Gabriel actually following him. I want him seeing the old-fashioned back four where you just stay as a back four, nice and narrow with the two centre halves, and you say, right, if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to do something brilliantly individually, not the space that you've created to create that mayhem for other players to run into. So there's loads of different tactical battles all over the pitch. I know we'll talk about it later, who's going to play up front, who's going to play in the 10 for Arsenal. And no one's really mentioned about Safonov, the PSG goalkeeper. He's not as good as Donnarumma. So he's a step down from Donnarumma. And Donnarumma wasn't particularly great from corners or set pieces, nor is Safonov. So I actually think PSG aren't as strong as when we played them in the semi-finals last year, and we're stronger. Because obviously Gabriel didn't play, Bukayo Saka wasn't 100% fit, we had Marino playing up front. So
you bridged the gap a little bit.
Yes, yeah. You know what? You know when it says 60-40? Happy days, 60-40. I'll settle for 60-40 because... Are you
playing... I've been curious to ask him about Timber. Do you mind, real quick?
Go ahead.
Like, if Timber's been out this long, but he's fit and he's in the squad, does he, as a player, can you take me inside the dressing room? Does he start?
I think he hasn't played since March. If he'd have played a half against Crystal Palace, then you go, no problem. It's a massive gamble to play someone, do you know what I mean, who's had a muscle injury.
Right.
So I would say I'd go with Mosquera and you have Timber on the bench.
So basically playing with 4 centre-backs, football. Amelia Beltrao is outside the Redwood for us. She's speaking to the Arsenal fans. Amelia.
Hello, as you say, I have been chatting to a lot of the Arsenal fans where some nerves are kicking in, but most people are actually feeling pretty confident. And I've got a Kuna here, right here. This is Alex. Hello, Alex.
Hi, how are you doing?
How are we feeling?
Confident, to be honest. Nervous as well, I think, because they are the prime attacking team within the Champions League, and we're facing them second year in a row. But with the momentum we've got from winning the Prem, I'm quite confident, to be honest. I think it'll be a close game, maybe a 1-0 to the Arsenal, maybe a 2-1. Don't want to jinx it, but I think it'll be a well-fought game. I think we'll play well.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident?
How confident? I think a 7's a healthy place to be right now. Maybe an 8. Yeah, I want to give full credit to PSG for being an excellent team. So we saw them demolish Chelsea, and last season against us they were definitely the better team. But I think we've got what it takes to really take it to the max in this game.
The general verdict so far, from what I'm hearing, is that there aren't going to be that many goals, but everyone's kind of saying maybe 1-0, as you say, 2-1. Who do you think the goal scorers are going to be?
For PSG, maybe Dembele, maybe Doué, Kvaratskhelia on an assist, and then for us, I'd like to see like Eze have his moment, Saka, maybe a Gabby header. I'm not sure, but I think it's going to be like real moments. Like it could be a set piece, it could be like a free kick, a really well executed counter attack.
And if you were Arteta going into that dressing room today before the game, what would you be saying to the boys?
Look how far we've come, both that squad and all the years that we've not won something. We've got the prime momentum. We've finally got over the line with the Premier League. So just play the football 90 minutes, anything can happen. Just like leave it all on the pitch.
And win or lose, we're still celebrating at the parade tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it feels good to finally lock in the parade date in the calendar, know that we've got something to celebrate. But if we can make it 2, then even better.
There we go. Good luck to you, Alex. Again, everyone's pretty relaxed about this. Over to you guys.
Good luck to Amelia as well. Do they know she's a Chelsea fan? I'm not quite sure. Do they know? I have to spread the word that she's a Chelsea fan, interviewing Arsenal fans. We are going to hear from Amelia throughout the afternoon. All right, it's all going off in that game between Scotland and Curaçao. Paul Mitchell watching for talkSPORT. Paul, there's been a red card?
There has. It's a friendly. Scotland 0, Curaçao 1. Tyler Chong after 17 minutes. That's the goal scorer. But Jurgen Locadio, who was playing up front for Curaçao, just ran across the box as Aaron Hickey was trying to clear and left his elbow and rattled the young man in the face. The referee didn't see it. I did wonder from this distance because Aaron Hickey went down, but the referee was called over to VAR and wandered back onto the field and showed the red card. Now they are due to play Aruba in a friendly, so I think there'll be a suspension for that because it shouldn't carry over into the World Cup because they've got that friendly. But certainly if I was Dick Advocaat, I would not be happy with my number 9 playing quite like that, but he's happy enough in terms of the scoreline. A minute to play to half-time, and it's Scotland 0, 10-man Curaçao 1.
Cheers, Paul. All right, we're at the Redwood pub as we build up to the Champions League. Final member is PSG. Do you need reminding? PSG versus Arsenal. We've been speaking a lot about Arsenal. It's time now to speak about the French champions, the favourites, PSG, when we come back.
Big week.
Come on.
Big week.
Can I get congratulations?
Happy for you. Congratulations.
Thank you very
See,
much.
do you know
I'm
how
not sour,
pathetic
man.
this
is? You got a Tottenham fan sort of celebrating. You can't celebrate. You come in
straight in.
Yeah,
Bro, at least like maybe a cup of tea first. Like, bro, straight in.
No, mate, because your entire gait and approach is wrong. This is unjust. This isn't how it works. Darren sitting next to me, giving it the big one, is just about fair enough. They're champions. They can get away with it. You can't come in here as a Tottenham fan and celebrate. You've got to celebrate.
You're smiling. Where did you finish?
What did you celebrate?
Where did you finish?
I'm not celebrating.
Where did you finish?
No, we finished mid-table.
I'll put something to you. We had the same season as you.
I kind of agree with that. I just think it's crazy that you came in here. You came in here like the cat that got the cream.
No.
This is the thing.
I think what people are confused about. No one celebrated finishing 17th. We celebrated the fact that we're not going to be in the championship. You don't get that. What don't you get about that? No one wants to be 17th, but once we're in a relegation fight, you want me to be upset that we're staying up, bro? I'm happy, bro.
I think it's shameful that you can find anything to celebrate at the moment. And this is the thing that Tottenham fans are doing. They're sort of going, we kind of won. We won. We succeeded. We made it. Like, no, you lost. The fact that we're having this conversation. It's good we're having the fact that we're having this conversation.
He's coming in with a different level of smoke.
Yeah, he has.
I had an ice cream earlier.
He has. No, literally, I was enjoying the weather. Yeah, he's coming in on war like,
honestly,
crazy.
I just can't believe it. I've witnessed you in real life. You've walked through the door like the cat.
You want me to come in here? It's 30 degrees outside. How do you want me to walk in?
I think you should come in here very reticent and basically say, "Oh my God, by the skin of our teeth, we got away."
Bro, you know I don't play for Spurs, right? You know that. I got my whole own thing going on.
No, I don't really get it. But what I do have to do is give a lot of credit to Roberto De Zerbi.
Yeah, fair enough. He done his job. He done well.
He changed the direction.
That was the last.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win.
Time is running out. This Monday, 4 p.m, someone wins the trip of a lifetime 2026 FIFA World Cup, courtesy of Adidas. And it could be you. You and a mate could be in Dallas, June 17th, seeing England versus Croatia live. We are talking flights, hotels, spending money, tickets, and the official Trayonda match balls, all included. Head to talksportwin.com to enter. Full T's and C's on the website right now. We're in a Redwood pub. This is the Champions League final preview. There has been a... Honestly, call me Mystic Ade. There's been a goal, another one in the game between Scotland and Curacao. Paul Mitchell.
And it's a popular one around these parts. Scotland 1, Curacao 1. Finlay Curtis with a goal after 45 minutes. Not long on the park. He came on for Billy Gilmore, who limped off. Hope he's okay. I think it's precautionary. But Curtis got himself free on the left-hand side of the box. Played through by Kenny McLean. He cut it over the full-back and just squeezed it in the corner of the net. So as it stands, a couple of minutes of stoppage time still to play. Scotland 1, Curacao 1.
Thank you very much, Paul. No doubt we'll be going to you a bit more in the second half of that game because I expect, as I said, more goals. We've been joined by Tom Scholes, French footballer. When did this happen? French football expert, author of The Parisian Revolution and City of Stars. Tom, I feel like you've been hiding your talents from me.
I keep it quiet. I'm not the kind of guy to go around and tell people what I'm doing, which is probably where I'm going wrong, actually. But happy to be here, happy to see you guys on what should be an amazing game, an amazing day.
Yeah, so comment ça va?
We?
No, we. He's only told me we and Je m'appelle is all it gets. Yeah.
J'habite, I live.
Je voudrais.
Yeah, he's not done the Anthony Gordon Duolingo course yet.
Done.
He hasn't done that at all. Sophie Nicolau is still with us as well, host of the Highbury Squad podcast. Let's talk Paris Saint-Germain. Let's talk about the rebirth, if you like, the growth of them. Everyone almost thought before they're almost like the Galacticos trying to sign the best players in the world, and it didn't quite work out. In fact, it didn't work out in terms of their goals. It's a different PSG side now. It's a PSG side built under the sort of vision of Luis Enrique, who looks to take over now football.
I think the best thing to sum up the transformation of the club is they've been so good in the Champions League under Luis Enrique, it's almost forgotten about the embarrassments they've had in previous years. They're going into a Champions League final where everybody's calm, everyone's expecting them to do the business. A few years ago, everyone would have been like, oh, well, they've done this against Barcelona, they've collapsed against Manchester United in Paris. The change in mentality, the change in ethos at the club has completely been in the vision of Luis Enrique. It's really a testament of how well a job he's done, but it does stem back from a few years of pretty much, it's similar to Arsenal in a way, just on the other end of the flair spectrum, I guess, of everyone's under the one vision of the people that run the club, and it's going to result in trophies, it's going to result in success.
See, same as Arteta, he's changed the culture.
Yeah.
Like, no big-time Charlies, they all work for the team. Kvaratskhelia, right, on the left wing, right? He's a freak of a footballer because he has the artistry and the balance of Ronaldinho, but the sturdiness of John McGinn. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how do you go about stopping him? How would you do? Double up? Do you make sure you just go man for man?
Firstly, it's luck, because the guy has magic in his boots. He can twist and turn. He can turn any defender inside out. I think if you're Arsenal, the one thing you do is you risk Timber at right back. He might not be fully fit, but if you can get 60 minutes out of him, I think you have to kind of take that risk. You do have to double up on him. You have to make sure the midfielder's also covering the inside, because if he cuts in, as he has done many times against that Liverpool, Aston Villa, Chelsea, Arsenal last season, this guy can do it regularly. The impressive thing with him is he's one of those I call them Iron Robin players. You know exactly what he's going to do. You know he's going to cut in and get the shot away. Whether you can stop him is something completely different. So I think doubling up on him, making sure whoever's on that right-hand side up against him, tracks him, covers the run, covers the inside run, as well as just making sure the fullback on the opposite side, just coming behind him on Nuno Mendes, isn't getting loads of free space as well.
So basically, show him down the line. Show him on his weaker left foot. Football's quite simple sometimes.
Sometimes we can overthink it. Sometimes just show him down the line is fine.
I don't know if he has a weaker left foot gone.
I was going to just say that it's, you know, they've got so many superstar players. Who's the player that we need to be worried about? Like, who's PSG's player that works in the shadows but brings the light?
I don't know if it's particularly in the shadows, but he does get somewhat underrated, I think, compared to the forward lines. It's Vitinha. Yeah, the guy is the best midfielder on the planet. He makes everything tick. He's the first midfielder I've seen since that Xavi Iniesta kind of player that you can kind of go, it's fine, he's got his foot on the ball. You go back and watch the Champions League final last year against a very tired, old Inter Milan team, let's be brutally honest about it. Everything ran through him. He was running for 90+ minutes. He was making sure everything ran through him. He was popping up in positions that you don't normally find a central midfielder. If you can almost man-mark him out of the game, yes, they've got other weapons, but he's the one that makes everything tick. He's the metronome of this team. If you can kind of man-mark him in a way that locks him down and reduces his ability to spread the play and feed the wide players, I think that's a step forward for Arsenal.
All right, let's talk about that midfield battle, Perry. So I think he's going to go Luis Enrique, he's going to go Fabian Ruiz, I think Neves, Vitinha. Arsenal, I think, will go Zubimendi, Odegaard, Rice. Who wins that midfield battle?
See, I think he'll go Lewis Skelly.
Yeah.
I think he'll go for legs in there. Because
legs and inexperience.
Well, no, the thing is,
against
it was a big decision when you put him in.
The most experienced midfield in world football.
With Lewis Skelly, what you get is someone who goes and gives you a bit of balance. Obviously, he's left-footed. He can go in the tight areas. He takes it on the turn. He can keep the ball really well. And that's what I think he'll do. I think he'll go with the two at the back in the midfield with Rice and Lewis Skelly. The big decision for me is it'll be 4-2-3-1. And the big decision for me is who goes in the 10, whether he goes with Eza or he goes with Odegaard, because I've been champion Odegaard's corner. He hasn't been in the rhythm that we want him to be in, but as the season's gone on, we saw him come on against West Ham and completely take responsibility. And we drop back into a 4-4-2 out of possession, and it's Odegaard, or it's Havertz or Gyökeres who sets it off. But what you're saying there about Vitinha, I would make sure that whoever was the 10 out of possession just went and stood up. You just go, away you go, you stand up, because you stop him from playing. And
that's what Eze doesn't do.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I go
Odegaard to do that, doesn't he?
That's why I'm saying I think Odegaard was better suited for this game.
Yeah.
Because then if you do stop, because Vitinha's like the shepherd, isn't he? He's got the whistle, and whoever's midfield beside him, he dictates where they go. So you've got to nick his whistle to stop him dictating to everybody. So I would go man for man out of possession, and if you win it, then they're a bit exposed.
Sophie, can I ask you a quick question before we go to Paul Mitchell? How many of the Arsenal squad players or Arsenal starting 11 do you think get in that PSG 11?
Oh, it's a tough one.
Goalkeeper, I'll give you Raya straight
David Raya. I mean, I know that people talk about their defensive performance against Bayern Munich, but our two centre-backs are incredible and have been all season. You would argue that our defence is the best defence in Europe. So take any of our defence and put it into...
I'll give you one. I'll give you Gabriel.
Declan Rice.
Over
You're
who?
telling me Declan Rice doesn't get...
Over who? Vitinha or Neves?
Neves or Fabian Ruiz, whoever plays there. You're telling me that Declan Rice doesn't get any...
I was asking a question. I'm just the host.
Take Liverpool head off and just go on football head. Declan Rice gets in any midfield of any team in the world.
Maybe. Give you Rice. All right, let's go. It's half-time in the game between...
It's a tough day for Liverpool, Perry. Take it easy on him.
Yeah. Sophie, thank you very much. Tom, you're going to stay with us.
Excellent.
It is half-time in the game between Scotland and Curaçao. Paul Mitchell.
Scotland 1, Curaçao 1. So when you get 2 goals and a red card in the opening 45 minutes, you tend to think it's been a decent game. To be honest, it hasn't. It has been a very, very low-key friendly. Scotland had an awful lot of the ball early doors. They're playing against a side who were playing 5-4-1 until they got the one sent off. That was Jurgen Locadio, who sent off for rattling the chops of young Aaron Hickey. It was really unnecessary. He simply ran across the area. Hickey cleared it and he caught him straight in the face. Referee required a VAR check to send him off. At that point, Curaçao were 1 goal to the good. Tai Chong of Sheffield United had got himself through from the halfway line, turned John Suter on the edge of the box and fired past Craig Gordon on 17 minutes for 1-0. But 20 minutes later, they were down to 10 men, and 8 minutes after that, Finlay Curtis on as a substitute for Billy Gilmore, taken off with an injury as a precaution, managed to get the equaliser for Scotland. It's half-time at Hampden in the build-up for Scotland, and it's Scotland 1, Curaçao 1.
Cheers, Paul. Thank you very much. Sophie, before you go, it'd be very rude of me not to ask about your podcast that you were doing with the late, great Kevin Campbell.
Yes.
What a great guy. How's the podcast going?
It's going great. Yeah. It's been, man, I wish he was here. I know Perry wishes he was here. To win the title. We started the podcast together. It took flight during COVID, and he was like my brother, and you know, he said we got to keep it going, and so we've kept it going, and with the support of a lot of great people who come on the show, including people from talkSPORT who've been amazing. You know, it's a beautiful thing. So hopefully tonight we make it even more special for Super Kev and Rocky and all of the other Gooners that are no longer Gunners, that are no longer with us anymore.
Well said, Sophie. Thank you very much for joining us. Really
Thank you for having me. Thanks, Perry. Thanks,
Don't forget the Champions League finals coming up live on talkSPORT 5 o'clock. But we are here at the Redwood Pub in London Bridge, having a very good time of it as well. The fans are starting to build up. It's red everywhere, which is very disappointing. And not red Liverpool, by the way, red Arsenal. We're going to have plenty more after this.
Look, he was on stage last night. It was quite an emotional sort of admission, really. He said that after Brighton, I think in week 10, I came off the stage, and the incident in Manchester where he had the argument with Jan van Veen, I was sat at home and I was saying to Faith, I don't want to do it anymore. Just the crowd every week. I said to her, I'm down bad. Now, listen, he was probably out of order to do the crybaby emoji or whatever it was he was doing to Van Veen, and he got a little bit of stick for that. But did we go, as a general public, did we protect him enough? We have to remember that he's 19 years of age. And bearing in mind the way he was talking there about his mental health, and bearing in mind we had a conversation last hour about Ricky Hatton and how, we deal with these situations. Do we have to be a little bit careful with him?
We definitely have to be, because we forget he's only 19. I mean, for me, I've got a 17-year-old who's 18 in a few weeks. They're still learning about life. They've got so much to learn. They're kids. His mistakes that he's probably made, doing the crying faces, he's going to make more mistakes. He's a 19-year-old boy. Like grown men are in a crowd booing him, hurling abuse. Do you know what I mean? I played with loads of players that in training, they were fantastic players. On a game day, they couldn't handle the effect of the crowd. And
do you think there was players that played in your dressing room
100%.
that were equally as talented and gifted, maybe better than some of those that were in the team, but they couldn't deal with the expectation?
They couldn't deal with the expectation, but also the abuse you get from the stands. The fans having a go at you, opposition fans. Not all players can handle it.
How did you deal with it?
I was fine. I mean, I ended up giving them back, and it spurred me on. I was total like one of a kind, where I actually enjoyed it because it made me want to score even more and then celebrate.
What do you get when some of the most individual sports stars club together? Well, a melting pot of history, tension, rivalry, friendship, and elite stories. Here are some of the best off-camera anecdotes from the Ryder Cup. Number 1, Tiger's loo roll. The protagonist, Lee Westwood's former caddy, Billy Foster, sat in a toilet cubicle at the Belfry. As he went to relieve his first morning nerves, Foster noticed only one of the 2 cubicles had loo roll, and while he was seated, in came a tiger into the empty cubicle, and he realised his mistake all too late. So Foster took some paper, reached under the cubicle with a rescue offering, and as Tiger went to take it, Foster uttered the words, "Europe, 1 up." As it happened, Europe did go on to win. Fast forward 10 years to the miraculous Medina, when, after a gruelling Saturday, Rory McIlroy overslept on the Sunday and was in danger of missing his tee time. Thankfully for him, the person booking player transport was Erica Stoll. She sorted him a police escort to the course. 3 years later, McIlroy proposed in Paris. The next story is told by Scottish legend Sam Torrance about the great Seve, who apparently despised the Americans mainly because of a diminutive US reporter who kept calling him Steve.
Hey, my name is Severiano or Seve. There's no Steve, there's no Steve. Next day, Steve.
Torrance also tells of how Seve regularly gave coaching clinics to his European teammates, but a week later at the Italian Open, when the same players asked for advice, Seve would tell them to and see you next year. Having started with a Billy Foster story, let's finish with one from the 12th tee at Oakland Hills in 2004. It was Jimenez and Garcia against Westwood and Clark in a practice round, and as they finished, Foster decided to jump in the buggy and speed away with all their clubs, only to lose control entirely and tumble onto the course and see it careering towards the spectators. Thankfully, the Red Sea parted and the buggy smashed into a tree, with viewers and clubs still intact.
Good afternoon, it is the Champions League final preview. We are at the Redwood Pub in London Bridge. Ade Oladipo alongside former Arsenal winger Perry Groves. Tom Scholes, French football expert, is with us, as is Nick Bright, host of the Inside Gooners on the talkSPORT Arsenal YouTube channel. Afternoon, gents.
Afternoon.
It's a very colourful top you have there, sir.
I mean, I'm not the only one, am I? Let's be honest. I've come in from Essex. Me and Perry actually live quite close to each other, and all the way here, just Arsenal fans absolutely everywhere. Although, for anyone who's not an Arsenal fan listening right now, I did get shouted at by a Spurs fan on my way to
top man.
Yeah.
Is there a wave? 1, 2 fingers? One wave, yeah?
Well, one of the two.
All right, yeah.
2 and 1.
Yeah.
2 and 1
Different
fingers.
hands. Yeah.
Before we dive into Arsenal PSG, I do want to get your thoughts, Tom and Nick, about Arne Slot.
Yeah.
You would have heard the news coming in.
Liverpool's quite clever.
No, it's a big
shoe it in.
It's a big news story. It's a big news story. Arne Slot being sacked. Surprise, Nick, I'll come to you first.
It's a weird one because, you know, a lot of the Liverpool fans that I speak to and interact with online, I would say 95% of them wanted him gone.
Yeah.
But I just look at it like, where's the loyalty? You know, he won you the Premier League first season. Liverpool were off it. Klopp's last season, let's be honest. Slot came in, won them the Premier League, and yeah, it doesn't even buy you a season, you know, in this day and age. Yeah, I'm not surprised, but it's a bit harsh, I think.
You know what? I agree with the statement. The only thing to counter it is 20 defeats. I'm counting the Community Shield here, so
sounds
better
better. 20, it sounds better.
20 to sound that nice round number.
So the Community Shield counts, okay? Now all of a sudden it counts.
Kind of,
right,
kind
okay,
of,
fine.
kind of,
Just
yeah,
checking,
kind of.
because when we talk about that, it doesn't count. But fine.
You're not going to survive being not just Liverpool manager, a top manager with 19 defeats, are you?
I think the problem Slot had was the style of play in the second season just wasn't what Liverpool want.
Fair.
And I think Liverpool are one of the only clubs left, maybe world football actually, that have a strong identity from the fan base of exactly how they want their players to act, their managers to act and speak, and how they want their teams to play. The first half of the first season, it was almost an extension, a controlled version of Klopp's football. Ironically, they played Paris Saint-Germain in the Charity Shield in my head. I've done it again.
Which one? Super Cup?
Champions League in the second leg. And it's like, ever since that point, there's been a complete shift in how they played. It's just been foot off the pedal, really bland, really boring football. And the stuff he said publicly and the way that some players have spoke about the situation at the club, the only surprise is it's taken this long to do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I think Liverpool players lost their hunger as well. I think they've lost that edge, you know, when you need to kick on. When you had all these players that came in and said 450 million quid's worth, none of them have really set the way. Ekitike was done okay, but all the others have been pretty sort of average, haven't they? So they didn't get that kick on.
Isak got injured, but yeah, Wirtz was meant to be the one that was going to come in there and pull up trees, and he hasn't. Is there an element, maybe I'll ask you, Ade, about this, is there an element of they feel like they missed out on Alonso, so now that Iraola, he seems to be the front runner, now that he is available, they don't want to miss out on another top manager who is Premier League proven. I think he'll do a good job there personally.
The Alonso one's interesting. I would have preferred Alonso just because of the connection with the club, but I don't know, you do wonder if the hierarchy were like, well, we tried to get you, you rejected us, albeit went to Real Madrid, bigger club, I understand that, but there is almost a part of, what, now they sacked you, you want to come back to us? And I almost feel like there might have been a bit of a discussion with that. But I do like Andoni Iraola.
Yeah.
I do think he's a top manager. You look at what he's done with Bournemouth. The team gets gutted every season, and all of a sudden they get better. They sold Semenyo, and they never tasted defeat after selling him.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. They went on a run of, what, 19 games undefeated. So I think it had to happen.
Yeah.
And I understand your point, like, where's the credit in the bank when you win the league? Liverpool don't always win the league anymore. This isn't the 80s or the 70s. They struggle to win the league. And if a manager does win the league, does he get credit in the bank? But me and Perry were speaking a bit earlier. I think he let himself down in some interviews, post-matches. He seemed to lose that swagger and confidence he had in the first season.
It's easy to have that when you're winning, though.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I think as well, we said about the Mo Salah situation, where he didn't handle that. If it was a manager, you set your stall out, then Mo Salah doesn't play. But because he was that much of a Liverpool legend icon, he didn't have sort of the cojones to say, you're not playing, because he carried him for a period of time, because Mo Salah's legs had gone, basically. Like, the numbers he had the season before were ridiculous. Like, was it 29 Premier League goals and 18 assists? And Mo Salah was moaning about the style of football. He didn't moan about the style of football when he had the best season of his career at Liverpool. So all of a sudden, you go, all right, Mo, just because your numbers have dropped and you haven't been as effective, now you can come out and say, we need to get our identity back, I need to play this sort of mayhem football. I think Alonso, I don't think Alonso's style fits the way that Liverpool would want to play. Yeah. I think Alonso's one of the ones normally plays free at the back, anywhere he wants to control the game, which is fine. So I think Liverpool looked at that, maybe thought about it and thought, no, he doesn't fit us.
You know what I like? And let's bring it back to Arteta. And I think this is the reason that, look, obviously, look, I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I do respect Arsenal. I respect Arteta as well. Made big decisions very early. And you talk about how Slot dealt with Salah. Look at how Arteta dealt with Aubameyang and Ozil. Big players, big egos. Not part of my squad anymore, not part of my team, getting them out of the club. And I feel that's kind of giving them respect a lot from Arsenal fans.
Yeah, big time, because, you know, we were, let's be honest, we were in a really tricky space before Arteta came in, and people were really quick to forget that. You know, the narrative this season was, if Arteta doesn't win a trophy, are there questions about him going? And for me, that was never something that even crossed my mind.
Really?
No, just simply because I was working at the club when we were in the doldrums, when we went to Baku and got smashed by Chelsea in the final, you know, when we were not even in Europe. You know, I had to do the post-match show after we lost that
but
final.
You got that the players didn't really care.
Yeah.
That's what you got, the vibe.
Big time.
Exactly, they didn't care.
Like, and also, you know, we were just so far off it. And I know we want instant gratification in this day and age, and, you know, we're kind of seeing that, I guess, to a degree with Liverpool and what's happening with Slot losing his job. But my thing is, you know, Arteta went in there and he said, he did a quote, didn't he? What was it? It was something about getting on the boat.
Staying, got to be in the boat.
Yeah. Like, if you're not on the boat, mate, you know, get off. You know, you're swimming, because and it's worked. Look, we've won the Premier League. We got it across the line. I'm hoping that we're going to have another shiny trophy on that bus tomorrow. Probably won't go home if we win tonight. And I'm doing Inside Gooners on Monday, so I'll just go straight through.
Phone on airplane mode.
Yeah.
Sorry, didn't get a signal. Sorry.
Won't have any battery.
Who would you have preferred to have played, PSG or Bayern Munich?
If you're being perfectly honest, you'd probably prefer to play Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
You'll be in the office because of the strength that PSG have going forward, and, you know, I've got
Bayern Munich don't have those.
They do, but I think they've got better individual talent, PSG. You know what I mean? Bayern Munich, so Elise's and obviously Harry Kane scoring like bundles of gold, but I think the movement is the thing with PSG.
Yeah.
I think because they are like the Red Arrows when they're in possession, they can go everywhere. They want to move you around. I think they do that better than what Bayern Munich do. But I go back to the PSG, like the goal, the Safanov. I keep going back. I keep looking. You know, you see the teams written down, and just look at that. And I think that's a big weakness.
Is that the worry, Tom? I mean, Donnarumma was, and I think still is one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Safanov isn't that. That's the one big Achilles heel, or no? Are we overreacting to it?
I don't think so. I think Safanov gives a lot of criticism, and this is going to sound mad, because he doesn't look like a top goalkeeper. If he was 6'7" like Donnarumma, everyone has a go. Like Donnarumma, in that second leg last season,
he was a difference. He was an octopus.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Shot stopping, he was the difference throughout the whole tournament. When it comes to claiming crosses, he's not.
Yeah.
He's not of that level. He's not what you just say.
Yeah.
He doesn't fit what modern goalkeepers really are. You can stick a cross on him. I would feel more worried with Donnarumma up against this Arsenal team with their set pieces than I do with Safanov, because whilst he looks like he's not comfortable in the position, he's never flapped. He's never got it wrong. And if he has got it wrong, he's rectified it very quickly with the save, or he's claimed the cross, or he's claimed it, bowled it out to where it needs to go, and he's dealt with it very well. I think the weakness for Paris Saint-Germain that Arsenal can exploit, obviously the set pieces, spoken hours of airtime have been spent on set pieces for Arsenal this season, is the transition when PSG go forward. You compare what Bayern Munich had, I think Arsenal would be able to have played them on the ground better. That transition of whoever's on the wing, whether it's Saka and Trossard or Martinelli or Eze or whoever, they've just got to keep an eye on when the fullbacks go forward and see if you can exploit that space. It's got to be the Arsenal midfield have got to get the ball, turn it over quickly, get it over the space, and you can attack them.
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw in the semi-final between Bayern Munich and Paris Saint-Germain how open PSG can be. This game will not be like that game, in my opinion.
It's more going to be the second leg, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think we are much more solid than Bayern Munich are at the back. So, you know, if we can exploit when they come forward, bring it on, nick it, and go, I think that, you know, that's where we're going to find some joy.
The voice of Nick Wright, Tom Scholes, thank you for joining us as well. We are going to go back outside the Redwood pub. Chelsea fan Amelia Beltrao has got some Arsenal fans with her.
I'm undercover, shush. Well, the fans are slowly pouring in and the atmosphere is certainly building up. And I've got some more Arsenal fans here. Hi, guys.
Come on, let's go. Up the Arsenal, up the Arsenal.
Arsenal. So we're feeling a bit excited, aren't we?
It's never been a better time in my life to be an Arsenal fan. Today's the day.
So no nerves, no nerves?
No nerves. Plenty of beer. We're there.
Nonsense. A lot of nerves, but the Premier League has subsided it, so it's all right.
Yeah, I'm loving the confidence about this, guys. So who's going to be our goal scorers today?
I'm going to go Saka on the counter-attack.
It's Starboy. It's Starboy. It's the little chili. It's Starboy.
Definitely.
I'm thinking Rice. Yeah, it's got to be Declan.
I'm not sure, but it's definitely going to be 2-1 to the Arsenal. Definitely.
So last week you guys were made champions of England. By the end of today, you could be champions of Europe. How does that sound?
It's the best day of my life so far. Too young to really truly remember the Invincibles, but I tell you now, no better time to be an Arsenal fan.
Come back from Australia for this, by the way.
I'm home for 3 days only. Big up the Arsenal.
That's serious dedication. Obviously, you guys have got the parade tomorrow. If you guys do win, are you even going to sleep?
We're not going home. We was going to book
30-hour bender, let's go.
We was going to book a hotel. We said if we win, we're just staying out.
Emirates through and through. That's it.
Well, I wish you all the very best of luck, guys, and I
Best day of his life so far, he said. He just spoiled it, didn't he? Just spoiled it there, didn't he?
Got a bit carried
Arsenal,
away.
they might have won a trophy yet. It's best day of his life so far. Well, if they win it, it's going to be incredible, isn't it? All right, let's go to Paul Mitchell, Scotland versus Curacao. Second half has started, Paul.
And it's Scotland 1, Curacao 1. Remember, Curacao down to 10, having taken the lead through Tahith Chong. Jurgen Locadia got himself sent off for basically an elbow in the face of Aaron Hickey. Scotland equalised on half-time with Finlay Curtis getting his first international goal. 5 changes made at the break by Steve Clarke, and noticeably Tyler Fletcher, 19-year-old Man United, son of Darren Fletcher, makes his full international debut today. He's on the park at the moment, so we're very proud. Darren Fletcher somewhere, hopefully he's here watching his son, one of 4 players that have been brought into the Scotland squad to help with training, but he gets his chance to play today. It's 10 against 11. Really, you should expect Scotland to go on and score a couple of goals, but it's a friendly, not a competitive match, and Scotland don't really do friendlies. Scotland 1, Curaçao 1.
Thank you very much, Paul. Tom, thank you so much for joining us as well, author of The Parisian Revolution and City of Stars. Incredible.
Thank you very much, Ade.
What a man of many talents. When we come back, we're going to hear from the Arsenal players, starting with Arsenal striker, who I don't think will start, by the way, Victor Gyökeres.
David is an Arsenal fan. He's written the next big Arsenal song to rival North London forever. Good morning, David. How are you?
Good morning, David. Let's talk about the right side of North London now, people. Championes, championes.
Tell us about the song that you've written. Can you give us a blast on air?
Oh, I'd love to. So it's called "We're Going All the Way" by my artist named Gonna Sing. So if you're finding out, have a listen, blast out. And there's a little bit of an intro with a bit of commentary from the end of the Atletico Madrid Arsenal game, and then it goes into it like this. Are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Unfortunately, we're ready.
Okay, here we go. We're going all the way. The champions of England say Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Rewriting history, unbeaten every game we played. Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Mikel Arteta is our man. The Gunners going on for victory. North London is redder than ever. We're making history.
Oh.
You'll see, but we're going all the way. The champions of England say Arsenal.
Arsenal.
And there you go. You get the drift?
David.
When are you on top of the pops, mate? Deary me.
Listen, catchy, isn't it? Catchy.
Not one bit, mate.
I quite like that, David.
Terrible.
Listen, you're going to have to do more than that to get Gabby on.
Terrible, David.
You'll be singing it in your sleep in no time.
Do me one favour, David. Never sing that again, please. Thank you, mate.
David.
Singing it every day, all night long.
Yeah, don't let the anti-Arsenal stop you, David. Thank you very much for your call.
I'm going for a break. Bye-bye.
It's going to be okay. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. Just hang tight.
Racket.
Good afternoon, it is the Champions League final preview, Arsenal versus Paris Saint-Germain. Remember, kick-off 5 o'clock, it is live on talkSPORT. Adrian Durham and the crew are all out there, as is Romario. We're going to hear from Romario Webster a bit later in the show as well. Actually, we're going to go to Romario Webster in a few minutes. By the way, the Redwood pub where we are right now in London Bridge, I mean, this must be their busiest day. I mean, they're going to be making loads of money. This is very, very busy.
Gooners are a big club, Ade. You're just starting to get it.
Oh, they're massive.
World reach.
They are a massive club, aren't they? Very quickly on that, is it Liverpool, Man United always be debated? Arsenal, that's a given, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or are you trying to say that you're as big as Arsenal, Liverpool and Man United?
I've always said that the three behemoth clubs...
No, don't do that. No, don't put yourself in the three. I mean, are you third? That's what I'm asking. Are you just third?
In my eyes, no, we're the top.
Yeah, but come on.
Because I'm a Gooner.
Nick...
I will say that, yes, we are third in terms of global scale. But in London,
yeah,
we're by far the biggest.
And by the way, I mean, you're third, and I agree, you are third, but all could change. You win the Champions League. A lot happens. You win that. You
well,
win
the
that
argument
big trophy,
then goes,
all
you haven't
changes.
got the gold star on your shirt. That's the good thing about it. Do you know what I mean? Old big ears, then it just calms everybody down a little bit.
Yeah.
Indeed it does. All right, let's hear from our reporter. Romario Webster is out in Hungary, and he's been speaking to some fans ahead of the final.
I'm joined by the PSG fans, as you can see. What's your name, my friend?
Olivier.
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 You are confident, of course. You are the reigning European champions.
Yes.
You face Arsenal. How confident are you?
We are confident. We make a good season. We have good player. We have a good manager. We have good fans. Everything is good. Everything is okay. Everything is okay for us.
What do you like about Mikel Arteta's Arsenal team? What do you fear?
Yes, it's he was in Paris. He learned in Paris. Now it's her times. It's not the time for Arteta.
But what about Arsenal's team? Gabriel Saka, who do you...
I don't know the players. I don't know Arsenal. Who is Arsenal? Which is Arsenal? I don't know.
Are you worried that PSG fans are too confident? Can Arsenal shock you?
No. We aren't too confident. We are confident. Okay, we are confident. We have good player. We have a good manager. I said we are okay. We will to play a game. I wish it will be a good game, and also the best team win, and the best team is Paris.
One thing the French do not lack is confidence. I always feel like they're born with confidence.
Do you think there was a bit of a laissez-faire attitude there? It was funny though. It was.
Yeah.
It was.
You
funny.
know the Arsenal players? I don't know the Arsenal players.
We're too good for that.
He might know a few of them come 7 p.m. Come 7 p.m. he might regret saying that. There's been another goal in the game between Scotland and Curacao. I remember warm-up game before the World Cup starts. Official for Scotland. Their first game is Haiti, and I believe they've got another goal. Paul Mitchell.
And it is Scotland 2, Curacao 1. Scotland on track for the first home friendly win since May of 2016. Lauren Shanklin, the goal scorer. A corner kick for Scotland on the right-hand side. The move didn't quite work as planned, but a lovely ball into the box. Shanklin made it first time and guided it past Elroy Room in the Curacao goal. Scotland ahead. Scotland 2, Curacao 1.
Okay, more goals in that game, I'm sure. We'll go to Paul Mitchell as soon as they go in. All right, let's hear from one of the Arsenal players who could be key for Arsenal. He was bought to be the man that guides them to the Premier League, and I guess he done it to an extent. That man is Victor Gyökeres. He called up with talkSPORT host Darren Bent. He spoke about wrapping up the Premier League title, and he asked the Arsenal striker if he felt pressure coming into the Premier League.
I think for me personally, I think you put that pressure on yourself automatically. You want to show yourself that you can do it and perform well in games and score goals. So I think the outside noise or the expectations, of course, is there, and you have to respect that. But I think no matter what, I still want to do well and do my job.
Are you someone who sets targets before the season starts, i.e. goals, those type of things, assists, or are you someone that get the first one, you'll see how many you get?
I think I don't set exactly a target, but of course you want to reach certain numbers and you want to score as many goals as possible, and then of course if you've scored a lot of goals before, you want to keep that up and keep going on that path. So yeah, that's what I try to do, but of course I most of all want to win football matches and titles.
Of course. I mean, when you've been part of it, but there's always been a lot of outside noise regarding Arsenal. Why, we don't know, but this season now, Arsenal finished second 3 times in a row. This season, you're pushing for your Premier League title. There has been a lot of noise this season, probably more so than there ever has been. How did you guys, again, as a group, kind of cope with that? And did you let it affect you? And how did you do to keep the outside noise away from you?
Yeah, like I say, I think it's how you take it in and how you view it, and I think we didn't get affected by it in a bad way. You can see it from different perspectives, and I think we have handled it in a good way. And people are always gonna talk, but yeah, now we're here and we're the champions.
I mean, now we spoke about, obviously you've won the Premier League now, that's ticked, but you've obviously, the season's not over, you've got another huge game coming up in the Champions League final against PSG. You must be really excited about that, and what are your thoughts around that game? We know how good PSG are, they won it last year, but you must be excited about this one.
Yeah, of course we are we all are very excited for the game. I think yeah, it's my first Champions League final, so of course it's one of the biggest games you can play in football, and yeah, to do it at the first season with Arsenal is amazing achievement. But yeah, of course we're gonna go there and try to win it.
Darren Bent there speaking to Victor Gyökeres ahead of this big game, Champions League final, remember. Live on talkSPORT gets underway at 5 o'clock. We are building up to that right now at the Redwood Pub. Nick Bright still with us. Nick, grade Victor Gyökeres' first season as an Arsenal striker. By the way, it could be an A if he scores today, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not over yet.
Not over yet, but before today.
It's such a funny one because, you know, I remember doing Inside Gooners with Perry, you know, halfway through the season, we were all kind of a little bit like, he's not pulled up any trees, he hasn't exactly lit up the Premier League in the way that we wanted him to. But when you look at the numbers and what we needed somebody to do, he's come in and scored important goals and got a decent return, I think, for a first season. Is there room to grow? Yes. Do I want to see him score more? Yes, of course. In terms of a grade, I'm going to give him like a B.
Oh, it's harsh.
Well, what would you say?
It gets an A?
B plus.
B plus, okay. All right.
No, if you go out of 10, right?
Yeah.
I'd give him a 7.5 out of 10. And his first season coming in to Arsenal is a step up from Sport. He was the main player at Sporting Lisbon. He could dictate where they went in the channels, when they got crosses in. You could tell his body shape was different her first half season to second half. And what I mean by that is he's grown into it, and he was at his best game against Atletico Madrid, where he engaged the centre halves, he made sure he held it up. So he's actually got bigger because he can start demanding off the players around him, get it in the channels, and he's became one of the main players. Whereas before, he was just, as you said there, easing his way in, didn't have that stature to be as demonstrative and demanding on the players around him. 14 Premier League goals and 21. So, as a centre forward, I said beginning of the season, I didn't care if he got 8, 10 Premier League goals and we won the title. Didn't bother me at all. That means he's been a really, really good signing.
That would bother him, though, if he got that amount of goals without hitting double figures. As you're right, he's got double figures, 21 in all comps. He deserves his plaudits. I think a B+ is about right. I asked Perry a bit earlier, and I said, what would be that front three? He said he thinks that Mikel might go Havertz through the middle. If you put your managerial hat on, would you go Havertz or Gyökeres for the middle?
I mean, if I got anywhere near the Arsenal managerial seat, there really is issues.
Yeah.
But
we lose 9-3.
Yeah. But it's a boring answer, but me and Perry are on the same page.
Havertz.
Yeah, I think Havertz starts this. Gyökeres comes on as a great finisher, I believe. You know, he's power and his strength. If we're still in the game, if it's still 0-0, or if it's a tight affair, I think if he comes on, you know, he could be the difference at the top end of the pitch for us. But I do want to see, you know, Gabriel Jesus is leaving. I want to see us make another signing, number 9. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I know we got to get this game over the line, but you know, I want to see us bring in another number 9 over the summer, who could potentially challenge for the shirt.
Yeah, fair. And look, by the way, if he is off the bench, I mean, your bench could have Madueke, Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus, Eze, Gyökeres. I mean, you've got a lot of finishes there that could change the game regardless. Nick, appreciate you coming down. Thank you very much.
Come on, Nick.
Go and have your pint. I know you're desperate.
Yeah,
he's already got it.
I've already done half of it. You know.
He's refueling already.
You're watching for talkSPORT.
Having fun against 10 men of Curaçao. It is Scotland 3, Curaçao 1. One apiece at a half-time, but 2 goals in the second half from Lawrence Shanklin now with Rangers. The first in 59 minutes was a lovely finish. So too after 64. Great move. Scotland moved it through the midfield. Dykes at the edge of the box, clipped it in for Shanklin, and he was ruthless. Certainly doesn't miss chances like that. It's Scotland 3, Curaçao 1.
That's more like it from the Scotland team. Again, their first game in the World Cup, which will be live on talkSPORT, is against Haiti. All right, next, our voice of live football, Adrian Durham's going to be joining us live from the Puskás Arena in Budapest, where the Champions League final will begin at 5 p.m.
Joey is on the line now. Joey, you're an Arsenal fan. Good morning. How's things?
Good morning, Joe.
Morning, and no good morning to you, Gabi Abonlaho. You've been doing my head in since Saturday, the 17th of August 2013, and that was the season I got my season ticket. You came into that game, you mesmerized our defense. We lost 3-1. I got home and my wife asked me, "Oh wow, Gabi Abonlaho has done this to you." And every time I have a bad day out there and I get home, the first thing my wife asked me is Gabi be doing your head in? Gabi, you're doing my head in, and
I don't mean...
You've turned yourself to become the big ambassador of anti-Arsenal. Like, you just go after Arsenal. You go after Arsenal every single day. Gabi, for goodness sake, this morning we're talking about Gordon. You went all the British press, tried bringing the British players. And then, in the same minute, you are saying you don't want Arsenal to win the Champions League. Gabi, that is a conflict of contradiction. You have an apparent bias against Arsenal. And you've been doing my head in since 2013, Gabi.
Joe,
For goodness
listen.
sake, let me have a break.
I don't want you to have a bad day because of me. I want you to enjoy your day. The weather's good. I want you to be happy, Joe.
Joe, that was brilliant. That was some rant. I really enjoyed that. Keep them coming in. 03717 2233.
I don't mean to do that to Joe.
Yeah, no.
I don't like
you're
that he's
right.
having bad days.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I want to have a very good day listening to us on the radio.
Yeah. And you know what? If you don't like it, there's a button in your car, and you just turn that off.
Yeah, but listen, everything that Joey says there. Listen, I want him to have a very good day.
Yeah.
I want him to have listen to talkSPORT and be happy, but I want PSG to still win.
Yeah. You really wound him up this morning.
I love Paris though. It's one of my favourite cities. I love PSG, the way they play, their manager. Kvaratskhelia is my favourite player. I'm a big fan of Nuno Mendes at left back as
How's
well.
your French?
It was difficult at school. Yeah.
Some breaking news, Arne Slot has been sacked as Liverpool head coach. The club say the Dutchman leaves with their deepest gratitude and appreciation just a year after winning the Premier League.
I think this has come somewhat out of the blue because the messaging coming from sources at Liverpool all season has been that there wasn't really an appetite to change manager. Arne Slot still had credit in the bank in the eyes of the hierarchy for what they achieved last season, delivering that Premier League title.
I am absolutely buzzing. The first thing I do want to say is that I am very, very grateful for that Premier League title.
Anfield has got a bit toxic, which doesn't happen very often, as you know. I think the style of play is what's done him. At Anfield especially, you have to go after teams, you have to be 100 miles an hour. So no, it doesn't surprise me, to be honest, Buzz.
You know what, we are disappointed because I don't understand who we're going to get in there. I really don't. Look, I think they should have given him till Christmas, see how he would have done, and then make the call.
There's not a long list of names, I don't think. Andoni Iraola, as I understand, is one of a handful of leading contenders.
The season finished a week ago, so maybe we expected the news to come out slightly earlier. What I would say is a big thank you to Arne Slot. He delivered the Premier League title in his first season, which was not easy at all.
Yeah, it was big news. Maybe some will say surprise news that Arne Slot has been sacked as Liverpool manager. We are previewing and building up to the Champions League final from the Redwood pub here in London Bridge. Myself, Ade Oladipo, alongside former Arsenal winger Perry Groves. We're going to go now, though, straight to Budapest. We're going to go inside the Puskás Arena because the GOAT is there, Adrian Durham, to look ahead to the game. But, Adrian, before we start, let's look ahead, or let's get your thoughts, on Arne Slot being sacked as Liverpool manager. Did that come as a surprise to you?
No, not really. And the reason I say that is because of all the stuff Mo Salah's said, the fact that so many Liverpool players were in support of his social media post, which basically said Arne Slot's no good. When you've got a load of players who are so against the manager, I don't think there's a way forward for that manager. But it's so harsh, and he's won a title, then got them back into the Champions League. I would have thought they might just have the decency to say, we'll give it another go. But that relationship was broken between players and manager, it seems.
So, Ade, it looks like it's Andone Iraola going in. What do you think he's got to do to turn it all round?
He's got to get on with the players, otherwise they're going to throw him under the bus. So that's the first thing he's got to do. He's got to get.
So deal with egos, basically.
Yeah, that's fundamentally it. Because clearly the Liverpool players can pick and choose managers. They can get managers out if they want. They can say, "Oh, we're missing Jurgen Klopp," and the board will listen to them. It's actually pretty pathetic when I think about it, but. They're all quite happy to take the medals from winning the title, and presumably they think that wasn't down to Arne Slot, but that's open for debate and scrutiny, I suppose. Listen, if it's going to be Andone Iraola, his Bournemouth side play good football, so get Liverpool playing that kind of football, and I think the fans will be okay again, because I think they'd lost a bit of faith in Slot as well, to be fair. So it feels like a good fit, but we don't know about Andone Iraola at a mega club, so let's wait and see.
On that one, you know, 19 defeats in all competitions. I mean, if we're adding the Community Shield, and let's go 20, let's give it a nice round number. Is that not a sackable offence?
Yeah, no, I can see that things weren't going well, but it's just the fact that the players who were playing badly said it's not us, it's the manager, and that feels a little bit ugly. You know, when are you looking in the mirror, Mo Salah? Well, why have your numbers dropped off? Is it all down to Arne Slot, or is it down to you? When we look at Virgil van Dijk, you know, this is a guy, I think he said when Arne Slot came in, Virgil van Dijk said, yeah, he's one of the better managers in the Dutch league. I mean, that is faint praise. That's unbelievable. And I look at Virgil van Dijk, who's not had a great season himself, and he's what now, 30, he's 35 this summer, isn't he, Virgil van Dijk? You know, how much has he got left in the tank? So that these players might feel very satisfied, and they might even be having a big party that they've got rid of the manager, but they all need to have a look at themselves as well.
So, Ade, the $64,000 question, PSG against Arsenal, who do you want to win?
Je ne sais pas. Mon cœur dit.
He's never ever sat on the fence ever in your broadcasting career. So get yourself down off that 6-foot fence.
I was speaking in French. Was that not the giveaway? No, listen.
Yeah.
That was the giveaway.
I've been speaking to Arsenal fans this morning, and some of the interviews are online, and you'll be able to see them all. And I'm actually blown away by how calm they are, and also how confident they are. Not necessarily that they're going to, blitz PSG and it's going to be easy, but that they've got a real chance of winning this against the side that won the final 5-0 last year and can score goals for fun, it seems. So the Arsenal fans, and I think this spreads through to the players and the management and the staff as well, because they've won that Premier League, they're all calm now and everything's relaxed, and they can take the pressure off going into this final. And what that's led to is a confidence that they can win it. I spoke to a couple of Arsenal fans, John and Mike, this morning, 40-year season ticket holders, and they said they're already planning next summer's holiday around the Champions League final in Madrid. That's how confident Arsenal fans are. I know, I couldn't believe it. And actually, they infused me with so much energy and enthusiasm and positivity about Arsenal. When we finished the interview, I said, thanks, guys. You almost got me thinking I want Arsenal to win. So, I think they're full of positivity. I actually just want to see a good game. It's clash of styles, but I want to see a really good game of football. And the thing that makes me want Arsenal to win it, and I'm off the fence now, I do want Arsenal to win it because it would mean English sides win all 3 European competitions. I'm here for it.
Durham is a gooner. Durham is a gooner. He's been goonerised.
I can't believe I heard those.
No, but the thing is,
the big factor as well. The big factor is Mrs. Durham will be very happy when I get back home as well. So
that's more like
happy wife, happy life. Exactly, So loving your work. But I don't get the fans of other English. If it was the only team that I'd want to get beat, would be that mob up the road. If you know when they played in 2019, I'd have emigrated to Sydney if Spurs would have won Champions League. But I want every English team. If they're playing, I do. I wanted Villa to win. I want
Claremont
to win.
PSG to win, or Rennes want PSG to win?
I'd want Liverpool to win if they was in a Champions League final.
No, you wouldn't.
I would, 100%. Do you know why? Because I'm not a little. I want the Premier League to be the strongest league in the world. Absolutely. And then you attract more players. So I would always go for an English team over a foreign team every day of the week.
Yeah, ignore that nonsense you just said there. In terms of players you're looking forward to seeing, we've been talking about Kvaratskhelia. On the Arsenal side, who do you think is going to be key for them? Some people have mentioned Saka, Declan Rice in that midfield battle. Where do you think it's going to be won or lost?
For the World Cup as well for England, you can't help but love, whether you hate Arsenal or not, you can't help but love Bukayo Saka, right? I mean, he's just such a joy. He's still only 24. I couldn't believe that when I looked it up. Absolutely incredible. Feels like he's been around about 20 years. But when he plays really well, he's a nightmare for defenders, and I think they really could have a match winner on their hands here in Bukayo Saka. So I'm excited to see him. The interesting one I'd love to get Perry's view on is Martinelli, who all the players say, the Arsenal players say, is the most skillful at the club. I think he's the top scorer for Arsenal in the Champions League this season as well. Scored crucial goals, that equaliser at home to Man City early in the season. Brilliant finish that. He's actually a really good player, but isn't always trusted by Mikel Arteta. I kind of like to see him start, really.
Do you know what, I think that he'll start with Trossard, because I think Arteta feels that he gives you more control. The only thing with Martinelli, he works hard, he gets in behind, but he can be a bit one-dimensional where he just keeps cutting in all the side. Do you know what I mean? And he sort of narrows the game down. But I think he'll be one of where they're not subs anymore, are they? They're impactors and finishers. So I think he'll come off the bench last 20 minutes.
Yeah. Ade, enjoy it. Thank you very much. Adrian Durham there, live from the Puskas Stadium. It's going to be a good one, isn't it? Remember, 5 o'clock kickoff. Arsenal versus PSG. Can Arsenal do the incredible? Can they win a double? Can PSG go back-to-back? That game is live on talkSPORT. All right, let's go back outside the Redwood pub where we are in London Bridge. Emilia Beltrao is with some more Arsenal fans.
Yes, the tension and excitement is certainly palpable, and the pub is slowly becoming a sea of red. And I found some more Arsenal fans. Hi, guys. I'm loving how relaxed everyone is today.
Yeah, we're chilled, yeah. I mean, we won the Premier League, so...
the league, right? So, this is all just the extra.
So this would just be the cherry on top. If you guys win or lose today, we're going to be celebrating this weekend.
Of course, yeah. I'm going to the parade whether we lose it or not. I'm there at the parade, and it's the first time in 22 years we win the Prem, so I'm happy about that, as it is.
I think it's whatever happens today, we get to party tomorrow, so it's kind of, it's a big cherry, but it would be good if we get it. But
if Arsenal do win, they get the double, will this squad be considered better than the Invincibles?
Ooh, yeah, it's a tricky one. I reckon so. Yeah, why not? I mean, we went unbeaten, but if we win the Premier League and the Champions League, yeah, that's tops the Invincibles, I reckon.
Yeah, I think it's really hard because obviously emotionally we're attached to the Invincibles, but I think you look at it, any barometer, you say Champions League, Prem in one season, you can't really say that's not our most successful season, really. But yeah, I think we'll see how we feel at like maybe 10 o'clock tonight, and we'll make a decision then.
Yeah, it's a tough game.
It will be a tough game. It's PSG, but we're feeling optimistic. Who are our goal scorers, ideally?
Oh, don't know. Hopefully they put big Gyökeres at top. He might body.
Yeah. Everyone wants to see Saka score in the Champions League final, though.
Yeah.
Like,
it would have to be him, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, everyone. I think there's even people that aren't Arsenal fans who want to see Saka score in the Champions League final. Yeah. So,
I mean, I'm just thinking defensively. We're such a defensive squad, so I'm just thinking if Timber's playing, if he's fit, touch wood, and he can handle the big Georgian, the Kvaratskhelia, if we can handle it, I reckon we'll be winning tonight, and it will be an easy, hopefully a 2-0.
No, you're not thinking that?
No, I'll take a nervous 2-1 maybe. But no, I mean, it's going to be a hard game. We're not under any illusions that PSG are like a kind of once-in-a-generational team, aren't they? They're crazy. But to win it there makes it extra special. If we do manage to beat PSG, then that's just special, I think.
Well, win or lose, it's going to be an historic weekend. So best of luck to you guys. Hope the nerves don't kick in too much. And enjoy it. Enjoy it.
Cheers. Cheers, thank you.
Thank you very much, Amelia. More from Arsenal fans a bit late. It'd be nice to see if we can get a PSG fan. I don't know if they would be wandering the streets of London right now, but who knows. All right, there's been, I think, another goal. At least there's been a penalty for Scotland in the game against Curaçao. Paul Mitchell watching for talkSPORT. Paul.
There was a penalty kick indeed, and Ryan Christie scored it to make it Scotland 4, Curaçao 1. And then just 60 seconds after that, Lyndon Dykes tested Elroy Room in the goal for Curaçao, but he tapped the ball up and over the top. Scotland are playing against Tim Emley. Remember, they went 1-0 down to Heath Chong of Sheffield United, scored after 17 minutes. A red card for Jurgen Locadio after 37. Since then, Finlay Curtis scored after 45 minutes, one apiece at the break, but a double from Lawrence Shankland and Ryan Christie from the penalty spot. I suspect Scotland will score again, 6+ still to come, but it's going to be a happy send-off for Scotland as they head to the States. It's Scotland 4, Curaçao 1.
Cheers, Paul. Thank you very much. All right, when we come up, we're going to revert our attention back to Paris Saint-Germain, ahead of the Champions League final. That is live on talkSPORT at 5 o'clock.
Now, one of the most important parts of the interview, you must be happy. It's been 22 years since your beloved Arsenal lifted the Premier League title. Finally, it's come back home. I mean, how are you feeling?
It is fantastic, and this squad is really, really good. They've had real resilience. I do genuinely think they're the best team in the Premier League this year. I'm really glad to see them win it, and hats off to them, because they did really well. The pressure was then really on with 5 or 6 games to go. Suddenly it looked like starting the title race all over again. They pulled through, and they've done brilliantly. And 22 years is a long time to wait.
It is a long time.
But we've done it.
Let's hope you have to wait a bit longer. I'm not an Arsenal fan. I have to get your views before we let you go on the pressure that you put on TNT Sports to make that final free on Saturday. I just want to get your views on that. I know you're going to echo that, but of course TNT price it at what, $4.99, which some could argue is really good value. So what's your view on that?
I just think it should be free. It's always been free, every year up to this year. And I say this not as an Arsenal fan. All fans want to watch the Champions League final. It's a big event. It should be free. And that's why I wrote to them to say, please make it free. I'll renew that, actually. I really do think they should do that. I think it's the right thing to do. And look, I mean, it could be a fantastic topping off of the week. We had Villa. We had Palace, then if Arsenal go and do it, we got an English treble there. What a great thing that will be.
Okay, and last question, we've got the World Cup coming up. How important is it that we bring home the World Cup to lift the nation?
Oh, so important. It would be fantastic. Obviously last done under a Labour government. Let's hope it can be done under a Labour government again. But look, he's got a great squad. He's got some real talent in there, some really exciting mix of, people who've been there before, people coming in for the first time.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win.
Yeah, what a prize this is as well. Time is running out, though. This Monday, 4 p.m, someone will win the trip to the 2026 FIFA World Cup, courtesy of Adidas, and it could be you. You and a mate could be in Dallas, June 17th, seeing the big game, England versus their old foe, Croatia. You can watch that game live. We are talking flights, hotels, spending money, tickets, and the official Try Under match ball all included. So the whole lot. Just head to talksportwin.com to enter. Full T's and C's are there as well right now. What a prize that will be going to the World Cup. Right, let's continue the Champions League build-up here at the Redwood in London. We're actually right in the heart of London Bridge, packed now with Arsenal fans. I almost feel like everyone has almost by default become an Arsenal fan. Not me and not my guest, Tom Williams, French football expert. Tom, thank you for joining us. The man in the middle certainly is Perry Groves. Tom, massive. We talk about the size of this game for Arsenal. And it is, obviously. Look, Arsenal get into the final. They haven't been there for 20 years. I almost feel like this is a massive game for PSG as well. The dominance has been Real Madrid for the last 15, 20 years. I almost feel like this is the PSG dominance, if they win today, that could start.
That's the realisation that they've had since last season. I mean, for so long, winning the Champions League was PSG's Everest. It was the only thing that they could think of. The only ambition they had, really, given that they're practically guaranteed to dominate the French domestic game. And the more kind of superstar footballers they signed, the further away from achieving that goal they seemed to get. They were completely obsessed by it. And then all of a sudden, last season, they scale that Everest. They can call themselves European champions. It kind of almost authenticates the whole kind of PSG project, if you like. But very quickly, the players, the coaching staff, the fans themselves began to realise that as incredible as it was to have finally got over that hurdle and won the Champions League for the first time, if they could do it a second time, that puts them in a completely different bracket. They're not just European champions, but they're one of the very select group of teams to have successfully defended the title.
Because Ligue 1 isn't nowhere near as strong as what the Premier League is, and Luis Enrique's been able to rotate players. I think I looked at Dembele's only played 11 Ligue 1 games, didn't he? So he could play like 2 different teams basically in different games. Do you think that's going to have any effect on the final?
It could do. I mean, interestingly, PSG have been pushing back on that, in that they've been pointing out that although Arsenal's players have played significantly more minutes, PSG players have frequently played more matches, which I think is PSG's recognition that in that respect they do have an advantage because they are so much fresher. You mentioned Ousmane Dembele. I mean, he was injured quite a lot in the first part of the season, so it hasn't just been rotation. A lot of those key players, Désiré Doué is another one, have had time on the sidelines. But I mean, they should be fresher. It is easier for Luis Enrique to rotate. He did it very successfully last season. It's been more difficult to do that this season in Ligue 1 because they've been in a proper title race with Lens, who pushed them almost all the way to the finish line. But yeah, you look at Marquinhos. I mean, he barely plays in Ligue 1. He's almost like a Champions League player who has the occasional run out in league football. So yeah, they should be a little bit fresher than Arsenal, I think.
I was going to ask you, Tom, almost a personal question. Where's your love for, I guess, not just French football, but more PSG come from?
I mean, I wouldn't say that I love PSG, but if you're interested in French football, then, you know, PSG are the
almost
biggest story in town. Almost
yeah.
by default. I mean, I used to live in Paris, and I was still living there when the Qataris arrived and took over in 2011. I remember the day that they presented Zlatan Ibrahimovic to the media in front of the Eiffel Tower, which is an incredible moment. And, you know, there was great excitement at PSG's arrival. But, yeah, wouldn't describe myself as a PSG fan. I've just, always kind of followed European football very closely. Spent 4 years living in Paris at quite an interesting time in French football's development. It was at the end of Lyon's period of dominance in the noughties. You had a few different champions in the years that followed immediately after that, and then the Qataris arrived at PSG in 2011. And at the same time, the French national team were just all over the place, 2010 World Cup. So it was quite an interesting time to be living in France and following French football.
So how's this Arsenal team and Arsenal club perceived in France? Because obviously the connection to Arsene Wenger, obviously Thierry Henry, Perez, Vieira. So there's always been a connection there. So how are they seen as a club, and how is this team perceived? Because in this country, this Arsenal team is like set-piece FC. You're not playing expansive football. You're physical. Who cares? I don't care. Don't care how you play. You win the title. It means you're a top team.
Yeah, I mean, Arsenal are the most popular English club in France. I think a lot of that goes back to the Arsene Wenger era. All the great French players who played for the club during that time, all the trophies that they won. So I work on French TV coverage of the Premier League in France, and you sense that there is a greater level of excitement when there's a big Arsenal match coming around. So although the Wenger era was a little while ago now, I think that interest is still there. I think there's a huge amount of respect for Arsenal as a team, the Premier League is followed pretty closely, so French football fans are aware of Arsenal's strengths and weaknesses. They're aware of the criticisms, the set piece FC, all the rest of it, but they know that they are an exceptionally solid team, and no one's forgotten the scare that PSG got playing Arsenal in the semi-finals last season. You go back to the second leg at the Parc des Princes, first half an hour, PSG were really under pressure, and it took some sensational saves from Gianluigi Donnarumma to keep them in control of the tie. So they'll be very aware of the threat that Arsenal pose, and they're also conscious that Arsenal go into this as newly crowned league champions, and so there's a feeling that could have a positive impact on Arsenal's approach as well.
I've got so many questions for you, Tom, but I just want to quickly get the full-time whistle has gone between Scotland and Curacao. Paul Mitchell watching for talkSPORT.
And it's finished Scotland 4, Curacao 1. Scotland behind to Taith Chong's goal after 17 minutes. Then Jurgen Locadio got himself sent off 20 minutes later. Scotland equalised before the break through Finlay Curtis, his first Scotland goal. Lauren Shanklin, recently moved from Hearts to Rangers, got a double after 59 and 64 minutes. And Ryan Christie rounded things off from the penalty spot 9 minutes from time. May 2016 was the last time that Scotland won a home friendly. That was 1-0 against Denmark. Here in May of 2026, they've beaten Curacao 4-1. The common denominator, the Fletcher family. Darren Fletcher played in May 2016, and in May 2026, his son, Tyler Fletcher, made his Scotland debut. Tyler Fletcher has now played alongside Grant Hanley and Craig Gordon, who also played alongside Darren Fletcher. It's funny how football works sometimes. Scotland head to the USA on a really good note. They were far too strong for Curacao in the second half. They scored some nice goals. They'll be coming down the road. Well, they'll be coming to the USA. Scotland will go on a high note. Scotland 4, Curacao 1.
Yeah, that was looking tricky for Scotland. All of a sudden, Steve Clarke and the rest of the boys will be very, very happy with that result as they head to the World Cup. Remember, their first game against Haiti is live, as is every game across the talkSPORT network. All right, we're here at the Redwood Pub. It's next to the London Bridge station. As this fly poppers me. This one fly is just staying around, isn't he? Just doesn't want to go. Leave me. We're building up to the Champions League final. Probably is a gooner. Before passing over to our commentary team at 3:30. Stick with us as we build up to the Champions League final here on talkSPORT.
Andy Robertson and Liverpool and the memories that brings up and the incredible teams that you've been part of over those years and Jurgen Klopp, all that history. Oh my goodness, just sum up, now that you're at the end of your Liverpool career, how it's been, how emotional has this been for you?
Yeah, it's been a difficult couple of weeks, but I also try to enjoy every minute of it. I think people are fed up of seeing my face and seeing interviews of me doing farewell stuff, so I'm glad this one's radio. But yeah, look, it's been an unbelievable 9-year journey.
Andy, can I take you back to, because I honestly think this was probably one of my favourite Liverpool sides ever. Mane, Salah, Firmino, Henderson, Fabinho, Wijnaldum. You guys, that back four, you just picked yourself really. Robbo, Matip, Virgil van Dijk, Trent, and Alisson. It will forever be one of my favourite Liverpool sides, I think, just because there was so much character in it, but also you guys were just so good. What was it like having that connection that you had with your team?
Yeah, look, that was, I think, I've spoke about it, quite a few times, but it's like that was the best time because, we were all kind of climbing the mountain together as such. None of us were the best player in the league. None of us were the best in our position. None of us were, we certainly weren't the best team. And I just think every day you just started seeing it slowly but surely piece all together, and then we climbed to the very top. Obviously, Virgil won Player of the Season, Mo won Player of the Season, Jordan Henderson won Player of the Season. All these lads did. People were, quoted as the best in their position and things like that. And I think that team just kept on growing and growing. And when you're winning Premier Leagues, when you're, in Champions League finals.
What do you get when some of the most individual sports stars club together? Well, a melting pot of history, tension, rivalry, friendship and elite stories. Here are some of the best off-camera anecdotes from the Ryder Cup. Number 1, Tiger's loo roll. The protagonist, Lee Westwood's former caddy, Billy Foster, set in a toilet cubicle at the Belfry. As he went to relieve his first morning nerves, Foster noticed only one of the 2 cubicles had loo roll, and while he was seated, in came a tiger into the empty cubicle, and he realised his mistake all too late. So Foster took some paper, reached under the cubicle with a rescue offering, and as Tiger went to take it, Foster uttered the words, "Europe, 1 up." As it happened, Europe did go on to win. Fast forward 10 years to the miraculous Medina, when, after a gruelling Saturday, Rory McIlroy overslept on the Sunday and was in danger of missing his tee time. Thankfully for him, the person booking player transport was Erica Stoll. She sorted him a police escort to the course. 3 years later, McIlroy proposed in Paris. The next story is told by Scottish legend Sam Torrance about the great Seve, who apparently despised the Americans mainly because of a diminutive US reporter who kept calling him Steve.
Hey, my name is Severiano or Seve. It's no Steve, it's no Steve. Next day, Steve.
Torrance also tells of how Seve regularly gave coaching clinics to his European teammates, but a week later at the Italian Open, when the same players asked for advice, Seve would tell them to and see you next year. Having started with a Billy Foster story, let's finish with one from the 12th tee at Oakland Hills in 2004. It was Jimenez and Garcia against Westwood and Clark in a practice round, and as they finished, Foster decided to jump in the buggy and speed away with all their clubs, only to lose control entirely and tumble onto the course and see it careering towards the spectators. Thankfully, the Red Sea parted and the buggy smashed into a tree, with viewers and clubs still intact.
Close, isn't it? Under 2 hours to go until Arsenal meet the best team in world football, Paris Saint-Germain. Arsenal bidding to lift that European trophy for the first time. Paris Saint-Germain looking to go back-to-back, which is very rare air indeed. We're joined in the Redwood pub, myself and Perry Groves, with Tom Williams, a French football expert, and CJ Newdham, the deluded Gooner.
It's you to say.
The deluded Gooner, co-host on talkSPORT Goals. He's going to be doing a watch-along for talkSPORT Goals of the game today as well. Tom, I wanted to come to you very quickly before we went to the break. I wanted to ask about, we've got screens all over the place here, and one of the men on the screen is Dembele. Ballon d'Or winner, who I don't know if 5 years ago you'd have predicted he got to these heights. It felt like he was going to underachieve. Injuries, obviously didn't live up to the big money move from Borussia Dortmund to Barcelona, was always in the shadows of Neymar and all the other superstars at PSG. It's now almost his team. Don't get me wrong, other stars around him, but with him being the Ballon d'Or, the current best player in the world, finally it's the Dembele team, it's the Dembele world. No one would have expected this a few years ago, I don't think.
No, and even going back to the beginning of last season, I mean, you think about the game between Arsenal and PSG at the Emirates in October 2024. Dembele was dropped by Luis Enrique for having turned up late for a training session. And at that point, he was one of the main men, but he hadn't yet really done anything to suggest that he could be a player capable of leading PSG to glory on multiple fronts. And the big change happened a couple of months later. Luis Enrique had decided after Kylian Mbappe left that he didn't want to replace Mbappe with a conventional number 9. He tried almost every single forward player in the squad as a false 9 and then gave Dembele a go, and it just worked. And Dembele, who has always had a remarkable amount of ability, so two-footed, such a great dribbler, just was transformed into this goal scorer from nowhere. And in the space of about 3 or 4 months, he scored more goals than he had in the entirety of his Barcelona career. It was just this kind of perfect alignment of the planets. And then, the goals kind of, they didn't dry up completely, but he didn't score quite as frequently over the final weeks of the season, but he was still scoring key goals against Liverpool in the Champions League, against Arsenal in the Champions League, wins the Ballon d'Or, and despite all the injury problems he's had in the first half of this season, he's shown since the turn of the year that when he's fully fit, he is still very much their go-to man.
Do you know what, we talked about managers' moments, right? Him leaving him out for turn up late for team meetings sends a message to every other player, by the way, don't mess about with the manager, because if he can drop Dembele, he can drop anybody. You know, when you said like the sliding doors moment we said about with Salah and Slot, whatever, and that's Enrique going, I'm the boss. It's down to me.
Oh, completely. And, for a very long time at PSG, there was a feeling that the players had too much power. And there's been a real shift in terms of the way the club is run over the last 2 or 3 years. And when Luis Enrique was appointed as head coach in the summer of 2023, Nasser El Khelaïfi, the PSG president, said, he is the boss. He is the authority now. We're no longer going to allow the tail to wag the dog, and it means that when Luis Enrique decides that a player needs punishing or something, or isn't quite towing the line, everyone at the club falls into line. And it's not like the Neymar, Messi, Mbappe era where a blind eye was turned to players occasionally overstepping the mark. You've got to be on board with the coach's message, and I think that Dembele incident, people around Dembele play down the seriousness of what he'd done, but the way Luis Enrique talks about it, he felt like it was a real foundation stone in PSG season, because it was his way of showing, it's my way or the highway.
Right, let's try this again. The deluded Guna co-host. There you go. Look at that.
Second
yeah,
time.
we don't mess up twice.
Now. Delighted Guna.
We don't mess up twice. He looks like a very nervous Guna, if I'm honest with you. CJ, you're hearing Dembele, and I'm already thinking of that battle with Gabriel Saliba, and I wonder, what would they want? Would they want a brute battle, which I think they can handle, or is Dembele in that movement a bit of a nightmare for them?
Dembele as a false nine is probably one of the worst things you can come across in modern football. You want to be able to hit a moving target. That's where, as you said, that a conventional striker in a Haaland-esque, I think Saliba and Gabriel more relish that. Dembele's annoying. He's going to pop up in different corners. We know about the rotating front three of PSG, so it's annoying to play against, but we're going to have to go and do it, man. It's 2 clubs competing for the biggest trophy in club football, and we're going into this on a high. If you really believe in yourself as a defender, you got to do it against the Dembele's and the Doués, etc. So bring them on.
Do you know what? It's 1 or 2. I said I want the 2 centre halves to stay together. I want the fullbacks to come in. So if he moves and goes, go right, you play in front of us. But if you're going to go, you have to go all in.
Yeah, you have to go. Yeah, you have to commit.
Because in the first leg at the Emirates last season, he was just swirling around everywhere. And we had Kivior playing at centre half. Yep. It was like half and half, and he caused absolute mayhem, didn't he, for that 25-30 minutes, where he just creates a massive hole, and other players are just running through it. So it's 1 or 2 things.
Where do you think the battle's going to be won or lost? And I know that I feel like there's almost individual battles everywhere. Like, I love that Saka-Mendes one. I think Saka's going to have to be on the back foot a little bit, not to let Mendes go. But we were looking at the midfield, and I said to Perry, and he got very angry with me. I said, could Declan Rice get into that PSG midfield?
Yeah.
I think it's Neves, Boutinho, and Fabian Ruiz. I think are fantastic.
Neves will have to give that up.
Yeah. Any other one.
Exactly.
Declan's got to win that battle, hasn't he, though?
It's not just Declan. Like, I don't want to disappoint, but we could sit here and talk about the attacking quality of both sides and, what that makes of a matchup. Both of these managers are fixated on what you do off the ball. So off the ball today, in a split second, is where it's going to be won and lost. For me, I think it's both teams on the counter-attack. I think both play a high line, and I do think PSG can be got at. But the main thing for us is, if that happens, we have to take our chances. Something I don't think we did in the semi-finals last year.
Yeah, it's going to be a fascinating battle all over the pitch. And then the fascinating battles off the pitch as well, because I now think with Arteta winning the Premier League trophy, he's now an elite manager.
Yep,
we know Enrique's an elite manager and has been for a few years. So It's two elite managers going at each other, two champions of their divisions. This is going to be really good.
Yeah, as you said there, Arteta winning the Premier League, then he's talked about in those circles, whereas before he'd have been like the next rung down.
Yeah.
And I like what he said there about the players. Winning the Premier League will drive you on. It will drive you on, and you still have that hunger, but it still takes away that anxiousness. Honestly, it's a massive difference where the players will go in. I think, and Tom think, the longer it goes on, level 0-0, 1-1, I think the better it is for Arsenal because
we start to grow into it.
But we've got a stronger bench, you know, for the game changes.
Can I ask about the goalkeeping situation? Everyone seems to suggest that that's the weak link for PSG. Like when Donnarumma was there, it's almost like he couldn't get past him because he's so big. Obviously, the goalkeeper for PSG doesn't have that profile. Is he looked at as the weak link just because the rest is so good?
He is a little bit, and you know, not a huge amount was known about him when he came in, and when he played last season, he didn't look all that convincing. He was given a start in the Champions League away at Bayern Munich in the first half of last season, was at fault for the only goal, which came from a corner. I'm not sure that that's going to give Arsenal fans encouragement.
They'll take it.
We'll take anything.
And you look at his profile, and like, there's something very unorthodox about the way that he keeps goal. It reminds me of those slightly crazy, like, Eastern European and Russian goalkeepers you'd get in the mid-90s who were just kind of like flying around the penalty area. Very unorthodox sort of technical style as a goalkeeper, but this season, and in particular since the turn of the year, he's been exceptional. He's made very few mistakes. We saw in the return leg of the quarter-final against Liverpool, he repelled everything that Liverpool threw at him. And I think what PSG fans are starting to realise is that he might look a bit unorthodox and he might look a bit erratic. And the manner he has of trying to punch everything clear does, it's the kind of thing that gives supporters jitters, but it is effective. I mean, on paper, he is nowhere near as good a goalkeeper as Donnarumma, but so far this season, and particularly in the Champions League, he has always got the job done.
But does he give the back four the confidence and the settled behaviour they have when Donnarumma was behind them? Do you know what I mean? Because if they were under pressure, as a back four, he thinks, right, he'll get us out of trouble. So does he have that same effect, that sort of calming effect, that we've got one of the best goalkeepers real behind him?
I think 2 months ago, if you'd asked that question, the answer would have been no. But what he's shown during the crucial moments of the season, I think has given PSG's defenders more confidence in him. And he's also excelled in penalty shootouts. So PSG have won 3 trophies already this season on penalty shootouts. When they beat Flamengo in the Intercontinental Cup final, he saved 4 penalties. So, as erratic and as unorthodox as he is, he's already been the hero in trophy-winning performances, and he has proven that he can be a reliable last line of defence. I'm still not convinced that he doesn't have a mistake in him, but yeah, last few weeks and months he's been very, very consistent.
CJ, final one to you. I almost feel like I can, in my head, at least pick 8 of the starting 11 for Arteta. The issues are the number 9. Is it Eze or Odegaard? Is it going to be Martinelli or Trossard? I think those are the ones. If Timber's fit, he starts. Answer those questions for me. Havertz, Gyökeres first.
I think he'll start Havertz today.
Yeah?
Personally, yeah.
Trossard, Martinelli?
I think Trossard might edge it. It should be Martinelli, but I think Trossard might edge it.
And does he go to club captain or does he go Eze?
He's going to start his captain. We have to press tonight against PSG. He's going to go Odegaard.
So like, 3 players in there, it's about control. Havertz gives you more control, Trossard gives you more control, Odegaard, when he's in the rhythm, he gives you more control.
Then we gamble if it needs be. That's where it goes back to what you talked about with the bench.
The bench is strong. The bench is strong indeed. Thank you very much, CJ. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you.
Tom, as well. Right, let's go outside. Amelia is with. Has she found a PSG fan?
Yeah, I did. I've done the unthinkable. I found a secret PSG fan in the pub. And this is Damien. Bonjour.
Nice to meet you. Bonjour.
How are we feeling today? Because if you guys win, you're back-to-back champions.
Exactly. We're feeling great because it's an amazing opportunity for PSG. The team is constructive. They have been playing very well recently, right? The manager has been doing a great job. Dembele has to show up tonight, right? So I think every cards are aligning for PSG to win. They better have to, right? Because it's an amazing opportunity.
You're feeling very confident, aren't you?
I'm French. If I'm not confident, what else can we expect for? Right now, seriously speaking, the temperature is perfect for us. The team is playing well. No, allez PSG tonight. Like, this is going to win for us. If it's not winning, then I'm a little bit in trouble right now.
I mean, if PSG do score, there are a lot of Arsenal fans. Will you be celebrating?
Yeah, I will still celebrating. I'm living in England, obviously, so I better have to behave.
And what are your predictions for today?
It's going to be very tight, probably 1 for PSG at nil. Like, I'm not expecting a massive, extraordinary play, okay? I want Dembele to strike in and prove us that he can win the, you know, like the, whatever, how is it called? Like the trophy, like the best player trophy. What's this called? You tell me. Yeah.
Well, a very good luck to you, Damien. And I hope you enjoy your day.
Allez PSG, hein? Don't forget about that.
Allez PSG, I concur with you, sir, I concur with you. We are not far away from kickoff, which means one thing. Adrian Durham's coming up very shortly with the team as well out in Budapest. But myself and Perry are going to give our predictions. We're going to pick who we think is going to be the star man for both. Stick with us. Final section when we come back.
Edwin, away from Soccer Aid, obviously a good second half of the season for your former club, Manchester United. It feels like a no-brainer to give Michael Carrick the job on a full-time basis. I guess the big question is, what can he achieve next season? How close to being championship contenders do you see them being?
Yeah, but I think what Michael brought was stability, clarity. Got some players in, played a lot of times the same team, and formation that was recognizable for the fans. And I think the performance that he put on, the results that he got, and that the board and the directors take their time to look at our options, see how things develop, see how the players look like. Probably they got some contact with Bruno and some established players to make up their mind. And very happy for Michael that he got the opportunity to do it on a permanent basis.
What about Michael Carrick's big selections this summer? What has he got to do in order to make them more competitive next season in terms of winning the Premier League? Because that's the established aim for Manchester United.
Yeah, of course. I'm not that deep into Manchester United. And of course, some players will have a desire to leave or to extend the contract. Big thing is, of course, Casemiro leaving, so that will leave them a big gap in the midfield. The initial period was a bit, I think.
Time is running out. Remember, this Monday at 4 p.m. someone will win the trip to the 2026 FIFA World Cup courtesy of Adidas, and it could be you. You and a mate could be in Dallas June 17th. It's in England versus Croatia live. We're talking flights, hotels, spending money, tickets, the lot, and the official Try-On-The match ball all included. Just head to talksportwin.com to enter. Full T's and C's are there as well. All right, Perry, here we go. At the Redwood, it's been a good day. I've enjoyed it.
No, you haven't.
It's been.
You enjoyed the show, but not surrounded by Gooners.
No, I certainly haven't enjoyed being surrounded by Arsenal
Gooners,
fans.
exactly. Smiling Gooners.
Happy Gooners.
Yes.
I haven't seen them for a long time. Where
22
have you guys
years.
been? It's been a long time. But this is a big one, isn't it? This is massive. Let's do this. Let's round this out. Starting 11. How do you think Arteta will line up?
I think, obviously, do you know what we haven't talked about? We talked about Safanov.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about David Raya.
Because he's so good.
He's kept 9 clean sheets in the Champions League this season. So you know full well when you're playing PSG, your goalkeeper has to be at the top level. And I don't want to jinx it now. He'd probably come out and like drop one like a bar of soap on you. But
he doesn't seem like he's got that in his locker at all.
Well, every goalkeeper has, but he seems like he's got it less. Do you know what I mean? And he pulls off big saves at big times, and obviously brilliant at set pieces, come for crosses. It's going to be obviously Saliba, Gabriel. I think you'll go Calafiori as the left back because he gives you a bit of physicality and then goes in midfield. Then it's Mosquera or Timber. For me, I would go Mosquera. I just think
if Timber's 70% fit, does he go with Timber?
No, because I think if you're playing against Kvaratskhelia, who is the best winger in the world at the moment.
By some distance.
And as well, I didn't realise he's 6 foot. We've said about how strong he is.
He's a big lump.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think if it was me, I'd go Mosquera because he is good 1v1s and he's physical, and you've got to make sure that you engage. You just don't want to get booked early. That's the thing. You don't want to go and diving in. Then in midfield, I think with Declan Rice and Miles Lewis-Skelly.
Do you think he's going to go Lewis-Skelly?
Yeah, I think, again, for legs. He's played all the games since he came in against Fulham at home, and he went with him again against Atletico Madrid in midfield. Zubimendi has been brilliant for 3/4 of the season, but I think the Premier League has caught up with him on the physicality side of it. Then I think he'll go, obviously, Saka, a 4-2-3-1. I think he'll go Saka on the right, Odegaard as the 10. Then it's between Trossard and Eza, but I think he'll go Trossard, again, for that control. And I think he'll go Havertz up front, again, because he's better at holding the ball up. But then, as the game goes on...
What does that mean for your summer signings, that your biggest summer signings are not starting the biggest game of the season?
Because that's the strength of the squad. Just because you come in...
Or they're not quite up to the standards?
No, they're up to standards. I don't know if you've seen it. We just won the Premier League. I'm not sure if you've seen that at all, no?
He said that. For those listening on radio, he said that and hit me at the same time.
They're all at that standard, and it's been well documented that the squad is the strongest squad that Arsenal have ever had. It's the strongest squad in the Premier League and the strongest squad in the Champions League. So as the game goes on, if we can keep it, obviously you want to score an early goal, shut everybody down, but if you can keep it at 0-0, 1-1, I think 70 minutes, I think that's when the squad depth and strength will come into it.
I've always thought of Arsenal in periods. I always thought of the team that went to Anfield, Michael Thomas, the famous little backflip. I think of the Invincible team. And now there's this chance of this team. Almost to close the doors, never to forget the Invincibles, but to close the doors on the Invincibles, because this will now be something new, something special. This team have got something that they can achieve, which will go down forever, won't it, in Arsenal history?
Whether, you can have conversations about if this team wins the Champions League, which I think we will, then there's a conversation, which is the best team Arsenal have ever had? Is it in this team now? Is the Invincibles? I'll go back to 1991 team. I was lucky to be a part. I only lost one, the nearly Invincibles, because Tony Adams was in prison. It was his fault we blamed him. That's why we got me. But I've said, if they win this tonight, they become the greatest team that Arsenal have ever had, because it hasn't been done. Arsenal haven't done that before.
Yeah.
And they go into the Immortals, because this is, as a player, you come this time in your career, this is where you want to be. They're one game away. They're Arsenal legends now because they've won the Premier League. Now they can go above that. They can go up level with Invincibles. I think it'll be the greatest team that we've ever had if they win.
Very quickly, give me one name. Who is the match winner today for Arsenal?
Victor Gyökeres.
Off the bench?
Off the bench.
There you go. Score prediction. How does it play out?
1-0 to the Arsenal.
Makes sense, doesn't it? It kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense as well, doesn't it? It's been a big day. It's been a fun day here at the Redwood as well. We wanted just to talk Arsenal versus PSG, and then all of a sudden we had the bombshell that Arne Slot had been sacked as well. Andoni Iraola, favourite to take over the Bournemouth manager, who finished one place behind Liverpool in the Premier League. But it is all about the big one now. Arsenal versus PSG, the champions of England versus the champions of France, to decide who will be the champions of Europe. Stick with us. Adrian Durham, Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce next.
as I've been waiting to come on, I've just had a message from somebody called Gabriel Agbonlahor.